Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the son of God. To you was kind of odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Welcome to another live class with the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're located at 8524 South Braeswood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. Our class times are Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m., Friday from 6 to 9. We got our Shabbat morning class from 10 to 2. If you're local, Houston metro area, feel free to join us. We'd love to have you. If you're in San Antonio, we have a school at 4219 Centergate Street, San Antonio, Texas, 78217. All right, their class times are every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. For their class days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. We got the school out in Virginia. As a lot of you know, we had our first class last night out in Virginia. Awesome class. The school out there in Virginia is located at 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23517. And they do class every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 to 10, from 7 to 10. Okay, so what we'll be doing, we'll be alternating Sabbath classes every other week. So every other week we'll broadcast live from Houston, or we'll broadcast live from Virginia. So for instance, this coming Friday, they're going to be doing class live online, and we're just going to be doing class, just regular class with no internet. But we still will have class this coming Friday. They're just going to broadcast their class live from Virginia. And then Saturday, we'll broadcast live from Houston, and they'll do Sabbath ceremony in Virginia, just not live online. And we'll alternate it like that every Sabbath. Okay, so if you don't see us online, make sure you subscribe to that Virginia channel, ISBHPK Virginia Live Class. Okay, if you're in Albuquerque, we have a school also at 7710 Manuel Boulevard, Suite F, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87110. Okay, so if you want their class times, just hit me up. For our kids class, you can watch previously recorded classes on ISBHPK Kids. For any current classes, you'd have to be here live in the building at 2:30. You have to bring your kids. Any kids under 12, they're more than welcome to join. Okay, so kids classes every Saturday at 2:30 p.m. We're no longer recording or broadcasting it live. You can watch our cable show, the Hidden Truth Cable Show, every Saturday at 8 p.m. on Comcast, local channel 17, or you can stream it live on hmstv.org. Okay, that's our Hidden Truth Cable Show. Also, you can catch Mashaba's Blog Talk Radio Show every Tuesday and Thursday, starting at about 9:30 a.m. All right, that's blogtalkradio.com. /Mashaba, MASHAHBA, every Tuesday, Thursday, starting at around 9:30. Okay, so, I mean, you're getting 7 days of class besides Sundays. You're getting 6 days of class. You got the blog talk, you can catch up on that on Sundays. It's a podcast, so you can download it to your podcast player, have it automatically download the newest episodes. So the information is out here, man. The information is out here to be had. You just gotta want it. Scriptures say, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. And all these things shall be added unto you. So, the knowledge is here, man. If you like any garments made, you can contact the sisters on Facebook. Oh, you guys changed it. So everything is Israel wear?
That's actually the
That's-
name on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Nice. So what were they getting before?
They just go to Facebook and they type in Israel wear, but that's what the name is when they go to Facebook.
Oh.
I think they can type this in and it'll take it directly there.
Perfect. So you can go to Facebook and type in everything Israel wear. All one word. Everything Israel wear on Facebook. And they'll take your order. They'll get you right, man. Whatever you need. Fringe shirts, pants, headbands, armbands, whatever style, whatever theme. I mean, some of y'all seen them Passover garments, they were crazy. It took a lot of work, but they did it. They pulled it off. So whatever you need made, man, they can get them done. Yeah, every year it gets more and more savage with these garments. So sisters got skills, man. Sisters got talent. If you need to reach a teacher, you can reach Kazakia. He's at 281-707-2737. All right, text only during class, please. You can reach me at 303-557-8979. You can email us at isbhbk@isbhbk.org. All right, for any emails you want to email us, any donations, should put the information on the screen. Anything you want to send to any one of these schools. Virginia needs books. Virginia needs Bibles and Apocryphers for all these new people that are going to start flooding in. So, it's easy. All you got to do if you want to help out, you can go on Amazon, 4 or 5 Apocryphers, and you can have them mailed directly to the school. Apocryphers, Bible dictionaries, Bibles, whatever you can help with, man. It's appreciated. Y'all been helping a lot. Y'all been, man. Y'all basically help get Virginia off the ground. Y'all put in y'all's brick, we put in our brick. You see, we ain't playing. We got class in 2 months. We ain't joking with it. We ain't playing with it. It ain't a game. My brother went out there and in 2 months, in 2.5 months, got class rolling, got a building, got the building, we're still building up the building, and we got to build it. We got to build a podium, we got to paint, we got to do all these different things. So it's just him. It's him and a few other brothers that are out there. So, but they're getting a lot done. It's not about the numbers, but it's really about where's your heart at? Where's your intention? Where's your dedication? The Most High will bless if your dedication and your intentions are right. We ain't out there for the filthy lucre. There is none. We ain't out there for the women. There is none. We ain't out there for that. We out there to teach. So the Most High is paving that way via brothers and sisters' help. And also the brothers that are there, their dedication and their motivation. So we appreciate y'all. All right? So, just keep helping out. I know you guys are reaping some benefit of the help. I know y'all are. Whatever y'all give, I know the Most High is not looking like, they, such and such gave. I'm not going to return it in some way. The Most High is not unrighteous to forget your labor and love and the things that you do towards His name. So, I'm sure the Most High is repaying brothers and sisters good for the good that they do towards the schools. All right? Huh?
It's Hebrews 6:10.
Yeah. Yeah, so just want to shout everybody out that's been helping. We appreciate it, man. We really do. for everything. I mean, throughout the years, it ain't just now. Even this school couldn't have been built without brothers and sisters' help. I mean, we've been building schools for a while. Like the school in Colorado couldn't have got done without brothers and sisters' help way back then. You know, we built that. I'm talking about walls and tile and podium, and you know, we turned a garage into a school. Yeah, it was a window tinting place. It was nice, but we turned it into a big school, man. So we appreciate y'all with that. Again, the Google Wallet, the Wells Fargo, and then you can mail whatever you want to mail to any one of these school locations. You know, keep in mind Virginia and Albuquerque; those are the two newest locations. So they're going to need a little bit more help just getting some of the basic things like books, pens, papers, things like that. So again, we appreciate y'all. All right. Just want to make sure I say that. If we don't say it enough, we got to make sure we say it a lot, because we don't want nobody to think that we're forgetting what y'all are doing for us. All right. That's it. Real quick too. It's not on here, but just a reminder, because it's gonna come up quick, man. Memorial of Blowing of the Trumps, the Feast of the Memorial of the Blowing of the Trumpets. That's November the 27th. Today is the 10th. No, excuse me, September. See, I'm tripping. It's September the 27th. What are we in right now? July? August, September. So we got a few months. We really got like 2 months. All right, I'm rounding down, I think. But September the 27th is a Friday, the Feast of the Memorial of the Blowing of the Trumpets. 7-day feast. We observe all 7 days. We won't have class those 7 days. So just a reminder, getting y'all's mind geared up, because after that feast, then they all start hitting consecutively, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. September, yeah, you got trumpets, then you got tabernacles, you got Hanukkah, you got what is that? Day of Atonement, yeah. Yom Kippur, yeah. You got Day of Atonement. So these are like November. These are September, October. You got 3 feasts in October, man. Oh, no, you got 2 feasts in October. 2 feasts in October. You got Hanukkah. Yeah, so.
It's like once these feasts hit, you hit like this period where it's like you're feasting like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know,
you're fat.
You get like a little, you're fat. You're definitely fat. But then you got like 2 or 3 months, and then it's like Passover all over again.
Yep. Yeah. So just
pretty quick.
Just gearing y'all up. Getting y'all ready for that. It's a fun time. A lot of eating. We try to do it as healthy as possible. A lot of getting together. So a lot of unity. I know some people run from that. It's a lot of unity that happens during them times. A lot of brotherhood. So we know. So hopefully, if you're available and if you're around, you show up. All right. Yeah, that's gonna be it for the announcements. Any questions before we get into class? What's your question, Major?
I got a few. I was earlier today. I was I ran into these brothers at the HEB at the grocery store. And I called like a Rob on the situation that was questioning me about, one of the guys. One of them was brotherly. He was just asking about, where you go to class at. And I ran into another guy, a security officer. He was like, yeah, shalom. And I was like, shalom. I was like, so you hip to the truth. Long story longer, the brother was asking me about the 12 tribes chart. Again, I got a small testimony. I haven't been really in depth in studying the scriptures because I was studying the Hebrew and things of that nature, but I didn't have the exact answers for it.
Right.
So he was like, he pulled up a video, long story longer again. He pulled up a video, he was like, how can these heathens be our kindred?
How can what heathens? Let me guess, the Mexicans are in Israel?
Exactly. That's exactly the video he pulled up. He said, how could these heathens be our brethren, our kindred? And I was like, they're the tribe of Issachar. He was like, well, how do you know that?
And I was like, well, I didn't know the exact verse. I was like, Deuteronomy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it's real easy. All you got to do is go to the second Ezra 13.
Come.
But you got to know history.
Right.
You got to know history, and you got to know history. You got to know the Bible, and then there are history books that further edify. We did a whole class on this. We did a whole class on Issachar being, the so-called Mexicans being the tribe of Issachar. I mean, at this point, if anyone is trying to battle or dispute that, they're idiots, and they don't know how to read, and they don't know history, they don't know archaeology, they don't know anthropology, and they don't know their Bible. And they judging off the side of their eyes, the hearing of their ears, and they're judging off of something that some unlearned Israelite taught them.
Right.
Now, just real quick, go to
Second Ezra.
Yeah, go to Second Ezra chapter 13 and verse 40.
Come. Second Ezra.
I'm gonna just give you the short form, but you can always go back to that video that the class that Kazakia did. It's an hour-long class.
Okay.
Scriptures, books that edify the tribe of Issachar. I mean, he went through so many books showing just even what is Issachar known as.
The hard workers, the laborers.
Right. It says Issachar is a strong ass crouching between two burdens. Right. In Genesis 49.
That's what I
Right, but they even carry that symbol on their flag.
Right.
A donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that goes all the way back to the scriptures.
I said that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know.
Right, but then you know what's crazy about it? It's even in books, like history books.
Right.
Showing you that, the Yucatan Indians and certain Indian tribes,
right,
they carry that flag.
Right.
They carry it all the way till now, but they carried it from back then.
Right.
So, I mean, there's books. I don't have any of the books here. That's why I say you got to go back to that class if you can. Montanaya, find that class, throw it in the chat so he can get it and everybody else online can get it. And they can go through and watch that class in depth. It was a good class. I mean, listen, it took him, he did 3 or 4 months of just book reading and scriptures to make sure that was compiled the best way it could be compiled.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't like a Rudy Poo, that says it, move on. No, it was history after history after history after history, and then scriptures to back up history.
See, not to cut you off, but it was a video you sent me, and I was watching that. Right, it was about the breakdown of the 12 tribes chart.
Even they didn't go in that deep.
Nah, but I was caught on, and I'm gonna have to admit I've been stuck on the 3 tribes. The first Reuben, Gad, Manasseh. He threw out some books in reference to those 3 tribes. So I've been trying to find the books. There was 3 of them. I'm not.
Lost Tribes in the Promised Land.
You're right.
That's a hard one to find. I got one, but that's like a $1,000 book.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is, remember, that video that they made, that was like in 91, 92, the books were a little bit easier to find.
Right.
But now that they know that the information is in these books, when you hit Amazon, I remember when the Babylon Timbuktu, that went up to like $300.
Right.
It's a $4 book.
Right. Right.
But what it was bringing out, it was crushing the Muslims, and it was exalting Israel. They were like, oh no, we can't let this get out. And this was just 3 years ago that happened. They shot the price up. So these books, man, they got a lot of information, but all they do is just the scriptures bring it out, and then the books, the anthropology and the history, the archaeology, that just brings it out. But read this here.
Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40.
Right.
Those are the 10.
Go to. Yeah, you can read that.
Come.
Yeah.
Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 40.
Right.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of S.O.W, the king.
Right. So, I mean, like, again, you got to know a little bit of history of the history of Israel, and leading up to the 10 tribes being carried out of their own land into this Assyrian captivity. There was a lot of wickedness in Israel.
Right.
You know, with Solomon, you know, it started with Solomon.
Right.
And then the kingdom being split, you had three tribes that went one way, and 10 tribes, or really 2.5 tribes. Judah and Benjamin, half tribe of Levi, and 9.5 Levi went. They were the priests, so they went everywhere with Israel, no matter what. We needed priests.
Right.
So when it says 10 tribes, this is rounding up.
Right.
Right. So the kingdom is split. 3 tribes go one way. 10 tribes get carried off into Assyria. Go ahead.
Whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters.
Right.
And so came they into another land.
Right.
But they took this counsel among themselves.
Right. But talking about the 10 tribes, they took counsel among themselves. And what was that counsel? Read.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
They said, okay, we got to leave these heathen. What are we going to do? Read on.
And go forth into a further country.
Go forth into a further country. Read on.
Where never mankind dwelt.
Right. Now, this further country, because at that time, what was populated was what? Egypt, Ethiopia, so the land of Canaan, right?
Okay.
Egypt, Ethiopia, that whole peninsula of Saudi Arabia, or what you would call the Middle East.
Okay.
You had where Japhet dwelt, which is now you need a map. But right above Africa, you had like Italy, Spain, and going everywhere west into Russia. Mm-hmm. All that was populated already.
Gotcha.
So he said, we're gonna go
east.
We're gonna go. It's gonna tell you. Watch. Read on.
Come. Verse 42.
That
they might there keep their statutes.
So they came up with this bright idea. Hey, let's get from under the heathen and let's go to a land where nobody ever dwells, so we can keep our laws. Now, what was the problem with that? They couldn't even keep the law in their own land. That's why they got took captive. They got taken captive because they weren't keeping the laws in their own land.
Right.
So that was part of the punishment, that you were going to be taken by the Assyrians. So they had this bright idea, let's go to a different land. Now, go ahead, read on. I don't want to give it away.
Which they never kept in their own land.
You see that? Go ahead.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river.
Right.
For the Most High then shewed signs for them.
Right.
And he
did what? So he showed signs, because at that time, Issachar, the 9.5, they were good at doing what? They could read this. They could read the stars.
Astrology.
Right. Right. We didn't call it astrology at that time. Right. That's the find me that scripture where it says they tells you that Issachar was good at looking at the times. They knew how to look at the sky and tell when was a good time to travel, when was a good time to farm, when was a good time to do this, do that. They were able to read the stars, read the signs. Right. So again, astrology is that's wickedness. Astrology is more of like, oh, Sagittarius, I love peanut butter. All Sagittariuses are just angry little short people. Like, that's astrology and numerology and tarot. That comes from Egyptians.
Right.
They just had the knowledge of and the wisdom of the stars. Remember, the scriptures say that the stars, the sun and the moon, were created for our service. So they knew how to look at and say, okay, it's time to plant. It's time to reap. It's time for this. It's time to travel. They knew how to do that. But then that was all taken away. So when they're doing it now, they're not doing it the right way, because it goes into witchcraft.
Gotcha.
But we did have the ability. Issachar had that ability.
Right.
So, but it said, watch, read, where you at? You know where you at? You get that.
It's First Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 32.
Read it.
It says, and of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times.
Right.
To know what Israel ought to do.
Right.
The heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment.
Right. So they understood the times because they were able to look up and say, okay, yeah, it's time to go. It's time to travel. Right?
Right.
So it said they went down, entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. Now, let me jump in here real quick, because I might have a real good map on this. I might not. Yeah, you'd have to, man. Try to map. Hold on. What they did was Euphrates, and then they went down through, what was it, the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, went down along Egypt, Ethiopia, Somalia,
Right.
went down under Africa,
Right.
came up, and they got into the Americas.
Con.
Read on.
Con. Verse 44.
Uh-huh.
For the Most High then shewed signs for them,
Right.
and held still the
He
flood.
held still the what?
The flood.
Right, the waters that they had to travel over.
Right.
Watch, read on.
Till they were passed over.
Go ahead.
For through that country there was a great way to go.
Go ahead.
Namely, of a year and a half.
How long did it take them?
A year and a half.
Now, it took them a year and a half to get to this country. And they had to, and the Most High had to hold back the waters, or still the waters, for them to be able to travel. So you got to think about it. Assyria was where? Middle East.
Con.
What water did they have to travel over a year? What water would they? Right. It had to be a big body of ocean.
Yeah.
A big ocean.
Right.
Right. And it took them a year and a half. Remember, they're not rocking with steam engines and power boats.
Yeah. Right.
They're paddling.
Right.
Right. So imagine the distance between the west coast, or coming down the east coast of Africa, and coming up the west coast of Africa, and then shooting west into the Americas. This is how the 9.5 got here. Read on.
Okay. No. In the same region, it's called Asareth.
Asareth. Go ahead.
Asareth. Then dwelt
Meaning
they.
what?
New land.
Then
Asareth meaning new land.
Con.
Because nobody dwelt here. Remember, they said they wanted to go to a land where no one dwelt. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 46. Then dwelt they there until the latter time.
Right.
And now, when they shall begin to come.
Right. So this right here in the scriptures, you know, like you read about Christopher Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And Christopher Columbus was like, yeah, I'm looking for a new world.
Mm-hmm.
No, he wasn't. He was looking for these 10 tribes. He knew what he was looking for. You gotta, when you look at Christopher Columbus and he went to the Americas, he went with how many ships? The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. 3 ships. It was called recognizance, meaning let's go spy out the land. Because when he left and came back, they came back with hundreds of ships.
Yeah.
Bro, he was the first missionary. What is it? Missionary? What do they call it?
Mercenary.
Mercenary.
Con.
He was a mercenary. He was doing the queen's bidding, but he wasn't coming to look for a land. He was coming to look for the people, and he knew that they were there because of the prophecy of Ezra. He was going off of this. Columbus was into that Bible, that La Biblia. So, and then again, there's many of books that now, after this happens, you go through all these books and Lost Tribes in the Promised Land. I wish I had mine, but it tells you when Columbus, when he came and he met the first native people, they greeted him. And how did they greet him? Shema Yasha'Allah, Yahweh Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh Achad.
Con.
That's what they greeted him with.
Yeah, I heard that.
But he didn't know, so he had to go get people to translate.
Yeah.
The language they spoke was Hebrew. Now, why would these people speak Hebrew?
Because that was part of the
It was part of the 12 tribes. The Moabite stone. If you read, who is it? Glenn Beck. This dude on CNN, he was bringing out a whole thing about the Moabite stone and how did this stone from Israel end up in Arizona, right? But it was a stone with the 10 commandments on it. They didn't know how to read it because they were reading it the wrong way, upside down. So they had this stone in the Smithsonian for years. When they flipped it around, some archaeologists came and flipped it around, and he was like, wait a minute. That's the 10 commandments written in ancient Hebrew. How did it get here?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of artifacts like that. It's like, wait a minute, how did this end up in Arizona? How did this artifact end up in New Mexico? Well, because the people that brought it, they brought it from their land with their records.
Right,
sir.
But then, through all the conquering and wiping us out, that all gets lost. But if you look at Gad, you look at those 9.5 tribes, you look at Issachar. First of all, they were dark people. They were dark. They had that woolly hair. And through rape, robbery, murdering, pillage, what happened?
The skin lightened up.
But guess what? And Kazak goes through it. Before this 933 BC, before this, Issachar was already, those 10 tribes were already mixing with other nations.
That were already...
Before we got into Assyrian captivity.
Right.
This was 933 BC.
Right.
Before 933 BC, I believe it was like 7... I'm going to quote it wrong. You just got to watch the video, but 200-300 years before we went into Assyria, we were mixing with other nations.
Before we traveled.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's where you get all your different skin tones. That's where you get the different hair.
Right.
That's where you get that. They were already mixing with other nations.
Right.
You see that?
Is that also part of the reason why they weren't following the laws? If they was mixing with other...
Mingled amongst the heathen.
Right.
And learn their work. Psalms 106 and verse 35. The law was not to mix with the heathen. So, and then, go to, give me the one, Kate on turn, and Ezekiel. Give me let's go here. Go to, is it both in Jeremiah? Go to Jeremiah. There's one Jeremiah. Go to Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 9. Go to Jeremiah. Go to Jeremiah 12 and verse 9. Right, in a very long time. Go there real quick, because this right here is going to show you.
Jeremiah.
Anybody coming with that? Oh, they don't belong on the chart. You know what's sad about that? They're like, how do them heathens belong on the chart, or how do they belong? How can they belong? Now those same Issachar, you got a little sect of Issachar that are saying that you're too dark to be on the tribe chart. You see how ignorance reverses itself? I got to do a railing for railing, tit for tat, evil for evil, because the whole time you had these wicked Israelites that came out with this doctrine, that Negro doctrine, that everybody on the tribe chart was Negro. Negro featured dark, black skin. We all looked the same. We all had nappy ass hair. It's not true. It's not true. So what happens now? The roles are being reversed, where you got these brothers that are they're Ephraimites, Puerto Ricans, Issachar. They're telling brothers now that you're too dark, that the real 12 tribes were all light, and that you're too dark to be you're an African, you're a Canaanite. You see how when somebody comes with ignorance and then somebody else comes on top, now nobody belongs on the chart. But nobody's going through real history and archaeology to prove it. It's already been proven.
Right.
All we're doing is just reiterating what the elders done dropped.
Right.
They didn't say nothing, because I can't say nothing different than what Yeshaya and the 7 elders compiled as far as information. It's just that people's ignorance and not looking at things spiritually. Oh, I love it. Because not looking at things spiritually, you start to judge off the sight of your eyes and the hearing of your ears.
Right.
So before you go there, go to Isaiah 11 and verse 1. Another favorite. What you got?
Book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 1.
Yeah. That's what
And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse.
Right.
And a branch shall grow out of his root.
Read.
And the Spirit of the Most High shall rest upon him.
Who's this talking about?
Yahweh Shai.
Wrong. Who's this talking about?
Joseph? No.
It's talking about all of us, man. Yes, it's talking about Yahweh Shai. Jermaine, you're right. But we gotta broaden we gotta listen. It's talking about all of us. This is talking about all Israel. Meaning, watch, read on.
Verse 2. And the Spirit of the Most High.
I was trying to trick y'all, but yeah, it's talking about Christ, but but this is the thing. Put yourself in the scripture. It says the what?
And the Spirit of the Most High shall rest upon him.
Did the Spirit only rest upon one man? Yahweh Shai, that was it? Nah, we read in Numbers the other day that the Spirit of the Most High, he took it from Moses and gave it to 70 elders, plus 2. Right? So the Spirit can rest on anyone. Go ahead.
The spirit of wisdom and understanding.
Right, come on.
The spirit of counsel and might.
Right.
The spirit of knowledge and of the fear of the Most High.
Do we all not have this spirit?
Come.
Especially if you're in this book. That's what's going to rest on you. It ain't nothing mystical or crazy. That's a byproduct of studying and meditating on the scriptures. Go ahead.
Come. And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of the Most High.
Go ahead.
And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes.
And this is what the wisdom does. But this is what a lot of brothers lack. When they're like, oh yeah, you too light to be on the chart. Oh yeah, you too dark. Oh, your hair ain't nappy enough. Your lips ain't big enough. Your nose ain't. Like, bro, we was mixing before slavery. There was light skin, dark skin. Where you at?
Hosea chapter 7, verse 8.
Nah, hold that. You jumping. I'm going to go there. Well, hold it. Go ahead. So we were mixing before, who is it? Jim Crow. Who's the dude? Jim Crow? No, not Jim Crow. What's the dude, man, that...
Abraham Lincoln?
It was Jim Crow, right? Where he came with the doctrine of the plantation, separate the light skin and dark skin.
Oh.
Yeah, Jim Crow. I'm thinking about something else. We were light and dark before Jim Crow. Before they were like separate the light skins from the dark skins, the green eye from this eye.
You think about Willie Lynch?
Willie Lynch. That's what it is. Willie Lynch letters.
Yeah.
We were different shades of brown before that.
Right.
Why? Because as soon as we were able, what were we doing? What did Adam and Eve have that... Adam and Eve had the law, right? What was one of the laws? Don't marry outside your nation.
Right.
Did they not do it?
Right.
Hell yeah, they did it.
Right.
They was married outside. They broke every law. It wasn't just one thing that Adam and Eve, the people, were doing. They broke every law. So they were mingling also. So we've been mingling ourselves with the heathen from before time. From Adam and Eve.
Right.
Right? So there was always going to be different skin tones and different hair textures. And the more you do it, what happens? Look, y'all know who Blake Griffin is, right? Y'all see Blake Griffin's son? He looks like a blonde-haired white boy.
All right.
Blake Griffin's dad is darker than him.
Right.
And he ain't that. I mean, he's dark. He's dark.
Right.
Dark, big Judite dude. And then Blake Griffin comes, and he's more lighter with the Judite features. Mm-hmm. His son looks like a little Ken doll. Blonde-haired little doll, man. He got the Edomite features, Edomite hair. But that took 3 generations for him to switch up like that. For those genes to just be wiped out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, look at it.
That's horrible.
Bruh, he's like a blonde-haired white boy. But he's Judah. Bruh.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah. Blake Griffin just has the Judite or the Negro features, and then not really.
Right.
He can just pass for a big German white boy. Right? Because he got red hair.
Right.
You know, but it takes, look how quick it took 3 generations for you to go from being pitch black, real super dark, to being blonde. So we've been doing it through time. So
imagine when his son gets
and then if his son goes and deals with an Edomite,
it's over.
what's gonna happen? Oh my God, they gonna look like ghosts. He is gonna disappear, little ghost babies. His brother's got ghost babies, daywalkers. Right? His brother's got daywalkers. But that took 3 generations. But then you gotta look, we've been mixing our seed since the beginning of time. So we don't even look fully how we did back in Adam and Eve's time.
Right.
But that's why we got weaker. That's why everything about us is weaker. That's one of the reasons. We've been mixing with these heathen, man. So where you at? Read on.
Come. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes. Right. Neither reprove after the hearing of his ears.
That's what the wisdom affords you to do. Not judge after the sight of your eyes. It's like, y'all look at Tia. Remember Tia and Tamara?
Come.
What are they?
Twins.
Yeah, but what's their nationality?
Yeah, their dad's white.
They're Edomites.
Yeah.
They're Edomites, man.
Yeah, like Joan, the Diana Ross daughter.
Like Diana Ross's daughter and her son. Evan Ross. The dude from ATL, Edomite.
Yeah.
Right? You look at Quincy Jones' daughter, you be like, Dad, that's a little blonde hair Edomite. Nope, that's Quincy Jones' daughter. You look at
Lauryn Hill's kids.
Lauryn Hill's first son, Zion.
All of them actually. He got 4 kids.
Oh, really? Well, all her kids are Esau.
Yeah.
All her kids are Edomite because why? Bob Marley was an Edomite.
God.
And then Ziggy and all them boys, right? But their mom was so dark that it kind of helped their tan out a little bit, and that texture. But they're Esau. Like what do you do with that? But see, if you judge off if you judge off just your sight and just your hearing, and don't use wisdom, you'll get lost. And that's what a lot of our people are into. They're lost in skin tone. Watch, read on.
Come on. Verse 4.
But
with righteousness shall he judge the poor.
Oh, damn. But with what?
Righteousness shall he judge the poor.
Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day.
Go ahead.
That the Most High shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
So there's going to be a remnant of Israel that aren't going to look like Israel, but what are they going to look like? Read.
Which shall be left from Assyria.
From where?
Assyria.
Wait. So we still going to have people in Assyria?
Assyria.
Why? Because they were stuck in that Assyrian captivity and never got out. You think that every single person in the 10 tribes was like, let me cross the river? Nah, you got some cool niggas that stayed, built a family, built a house, built a legacy, and had generations of children. They're still Israelites. Go ahead.
And from Egypt.
And from where?
Egypt.
Yeah, because you had some people that stayed in Egypt. When we were getting pulled out by Moses, they were like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm not going into that wilderness. Y'all niggas is tripping. Yep. I'm going to stay right here. Good old Egypt. Go ahead.
And from Pathros.
And from where?
Pathros.
That's Upper Egypt, where we were, right? That's Upper Egypt. You had some that didn't want to leave or went back. Go ahead.
And from Cush.
And from where?
Cush.
Cush is the Ethiopian. Some of them fled. When we was getting conquered by different nations, man, our people fled. So they try to run to anywhere where they could hide, right? So I'm going to go hide with a Cushite. Why? Because we both got the same skin tone. I can blend in real quick. Even when they were destroying the temple 70 AD, Yahweh Shai said it. He said, flee to the mountains. A lot of our people fled west into Africa. All of our people, the majority, fled west into Africa. That's why we got 1,500 years of fighting with Africans, and they took us over, and the white man threw us into slavery. So a lot of our people are still left in East Africa, also in West Africa. Go ahead.
And from Elam.
And from Elam. A lot of our people are Indian, left in India. You had the brother Parza. He went to India and met Israelite brothers that they'll tell you that their families been slaves in India from the beginning of time, since they can remember. They push them to the corner because they know they're not Indian. They don't even look like it. That's the funny part. They look like Judah. They look like Judah. And they know, they basically, I forget what name they call them, man. They call them a certain name, letting you know that they're not even Indian. That they're not, that's not their heritage. That's not their nationality.
Right.
Go ahead.
And from Shinar.
Right? Shinar is, China.
No, that's no.
No, look it up real quick. Go ahead.
And from Hamath.
Right? Read.
And from the islands of the sea.
Right, and from the islands of the sea. Just one island, 2 islands, the West Islands, what?
From the islands of the sea.
Our people are going to be coming from everywhere, man. So for anybody to be caught up on like, oh yeah, they're not dark enough, or oh yeah, they're too light, or oh yeah, this, or oh yeah, that, you don't know a damn thing. They don't know a damn thing. You should have told them to their face, y'all don't know a damn thing. Right? Go to Genesis real quick, Revelations real quick. Yeah, give me that. And then go back to that Hosea. Go to Revelation 7. And it's easy.
9.
7 and verse 9. Revelation 7 and verse 9. Now, Revelation 7 goes through the 12,000, the 144,000 of Israel that are going to be sealed from each tribe. Right? But then it comes back and tells you this. Read.
Revelation chapter 7 verse 9. After this I beheld.
Read.
And lo, a great multitude.
Come on.
Which no man could number.
Read.
Of all nations.
Wait, of what?
Of all nations.
So our people are going to be coming from where?
Of all nations.
Well, we just read it in Isaiah. All nations. Why? Because we were mingled, scattered throughout the four corners, and not every single Israelite came to America or went into slavery on ships to this country.
Right.
You see that? Go ahead.
And kindred.
And what?
And kindred.
Read.
And people.
Right.
And tongue.
Right, because we're going to be speaking all these different languages. You're going to be speaking Assyrian. They're going to come back speaking whatever they speak in Egypt, which is Arabic, right? They're going to be speaking Chinese. They're going to be speaking Punjabi, depending on if you're from North India or South India. You got Punjab, you got Urdu, right? You got Arabic, you got English. But they're going to be speaking different languages. Go ahead.
God. And stood before the throne.
Right.
And before the Lamb.
Right. So y'all see that, man, that our people are coming from all over looking like everything. They're not going to come just all looking black as hell like Kunta.
Right.
We're going to be coming looking like everything, man. Look at old girl that won the tennis the other day, Levi. But don't she look like she was Chinese? Her mom is Chinese, her dad is a Levite. She looked like a damn Chinese, just dark. But her dad is Levite. She grew up in New York. You know, it's things like that. You ever watch Prison Break?
Come.
The main star of Prison Break, Wentworth Bentley, is a Judite. I know he looks like a white boy. There's two brothers. What you mean, hell no? That dude's daddy is darker than you, bro.
What?
Bro, that dude's dad is dark. Look it up. Wentworth Bentley's dad. Judah.
I'm not saying that.
No, and then what's crazy is this: when you look at him and you look at him acting, you really look at his features, you're like, wow, that dude's really a Judite. But he's on The Flash. I was watching The Flash. I'm like, damn, yeah, you can see it. Logic, the rapper Logic,
yeah,
looks like a white boy.
Yeah.
Daddy is black. Daddy is black. Yeah. So we can't get caught up in the sight. We can't get caught up in the sight, man. Go to Hosea real quick. A couple more, and then we'll move on to the next one. Next topic.
Did you want Amos 99 too? Restricted amongst all nations?
No, you ain't gotta get that one. Go to the Hosea though.
Hosea chapter 7 verse 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
He has did what?
Mixed himself among the people.
Now, when it says Ephraim, it's talking about the 9.5 tribes. They went by Ephraim or Israel. The 9.5 went by Ephraim. The 2.5 went by Judah or the kingdom of David. Yeah. So when it says Ephraim, it's talking about the 9.5 or the 10 tribes. It said they did what?
Mixed himself among the people.
Go ahead.
Ephraim is a cake, not turned.
Right. You ever see a cake not turned? Different shades, right? Different colors of brown, right? Right. Go to Jeremiah 14 and 12 and 9. Jeremiah 12 and verse 9.
This whole book of Hosea, like it
breaks it down. Yeah.
It's talking about the 12.
It's talking about the 9. When it's talking about Ephraim, it's talking about the 9.5 tribes. That's what they went by. They went by Ephraim. Okay. Ephraim was the tribe that kind of ran that whole 9.5. So when it said Ephraim is a cake on turn, it's talking about the 9.5 tribes, different shades of brown.
Right.
Right? Go ahead. Jeremiah 12 and 9.
Jeremiah chapter 12 verse 9.
Right?
Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
As a what?
Speckled bird.
You look up a speckled bird. All you gotta do is Google speckled bird. You'll see it. It's brown. Then it got speckles of brown, different shades, all the way to the almost looks like it's white, but it's just that light brown. He said, "My heritage is like a speckled bird." So who are we to say, "Oh, you ain't dark enough," or how do these? Because people trying to say, "Oh, the Issachar, they're Mongoloids, they're this, they're that." They don't know what the hell they are. The Bible tells us, so does history. Right? What else? Jeremiah 14:2. I mean, let's get the basics out of there.
Jeremiah chapter 14 verse 2.
Because you got the same ones, they try to say that this is not a color scripture. This ain't got nothing to do with color. Yeah, it does. This scripture is twofold. Go ahead.
Through the morning.
Right?
In the case thereof language.
So it's talking about the condition of the people. Read.
They are black unto the ground.
They are what?
Black unto the ground.
Speaking of their condition, but also their color. They are black unto the ground. When you dig that ground up, is it all one color? You got clay, you got sand, you got dirt, you got sediment, You got this, you got, I don't even know the whole, I used to know it back in the day when I used to go to greenhouse when I was young. I used to be able to tell you all the different shades of dirt, the different types. Because you had to know that when you was planting, what to plant in and where to plant. But even clay, like if I get a tan, my skin turns like a reddish clayish. Just how it is. That's how, that's my pops, my grandma. That's that Indian in me.
That's funny because
That's
true.
Yeah, I turn just like this mud, just like this clay. When I get a nice little tan, I get a nice little brownish, reddish, like a heifer, like them cows. I look like that.
One Lamentations 5 and 10.
No, you ain't gotta get that.
Come.
Well, you get that, right?
Come.
Yeah. So what you do, all you gotta do is go through that video, man, and you can look at what books he used, and there's a lot more scriptures he used too. And get a better understanding of the tribe of Issachar. And then, you know what's crazy? A lot of those same books go into the other 9.5 tribes. Not just Issachar, but they'll go into Gad, it'll go into Reuben, the Seminole Indians. Right. It'll go into that.
Did you want the class that you just recently did, or the one Kazakia did?
The one Kazakia did where it says the Issachar, the Mexicans, annotated version?
That's the one that I see you, Zion, and him in.
No, because that's Kazakia's class.
Oh, those Kazakia?
Kazakia did that. You'll see it. It has like a big Yucatan Indian head on it. And it says annotated.
Oh, right. Okay, it's you, Kazakia, and Zion. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Put that in there so that way he can get it. Everybody else can get it too. And they can watch it online. I mean, bro, that class, yeah. I mean, if anybody rebuttals after that, the spirit ain't rocking with them. That's the bottom line. Yeah, the Edomites. The spirit ain't rocking with you. If you rebuttal after all that info, it's undisputable evidence. The scriptures and then the history, the archaeology, come on. It's undisputable. It's the way it all lines up. So you got that, right? What else? What else we got? Yep, I saw that. Amazing. Yeah, Bob Marley, Esau. Yeah, they can't go by the physical appearance. Yeah, you can't go by the physical appearance, man. You get lost. You better ask questions.
Jessica had a question online.
Yeah, what's the question?
It said, I was reading Proverbs chapter 30 and 31. Can you explain 30 and 23 also? Is 31, 16 speaking in literal sense?
Proverbs 30. Let's go there. Proverbs 30 and verse 31. Or 23.
30 and 23.
30.
Verse 23.
Yeah. So, read it.
Proverbs chapter 30, verse 23.
Right.
For an odious woman, when she is married, and handmaid that is heir to her mistress.
Right.
There be 4 things which are little upon the earth.
Let's read up.
Okay.
So let's read up. Read verse 21.
21. For 3 things the earth is disquieted, and for 4 which is Salat. And for Salat. For 3 things the earth is disquieted.
Disquieted.
Salat. Disquieted. And for 4 which it cannot bear.
Right.
For a servant when he reigneth.
Read.
And a fool when he is filled with meat.
Right.
For an odious woman when she is married.
Right.
And an handmaid that is heir to her mistress.
Right. So what was she trying to just get the understanding, or?
Yes, it said, can you explain Proverbs 30 and 23 and also in Proverbs 31 and 16 speaking in literal sense?
31 and 16. Okay, so let's look up the word odious. So what it's saying is there's 3 things the earth is disquieted, or there's 3 things that the earth trembles at, right? And for 4 which it cannot bear. So like how the Most High said there's 3 things that I hate, or there's 7 things that are wicked, right? So he's showing you these 3 things. So he's saying, listen, for a servant when he reigneth. Because what is a servant when a servant reigns? If he's not reigning the right way, what is he going to do?
Mislead, misguide.
Mislead and misguide, right?
Fine.
So a servant when he reigneth, and a fool when he is filled with meat. right? Because how's he gonna act?
Like an animal.
Like an animal,
Come.
right? For an odious woman when she is married. Look up that word odious.
I got it. It's hateful, deserving hatred. It expresses something less than distasteful and abominable. All wickedness is odious.
Wow. She sees her mistress. Right. So it says a hateful woman. It says hateful, right?
Hateful.
Yeah. So a hateful woman when she's married, what use is she? Think about it. Is she gonna be that pillar of rest? She gonna take care of her husband or children? Nah, she's odious. She's hateful. What else you got for that? Go back to that. What you got?
It says offensive to the senses. Disgusting.
A disgusting woman when she's married. Go ahead. What else?
Causing hate. To utter odious truth, exposed to hatred.
Right. So you see that a hateful woman when she's married.
And invidious.
What use is a hateful woman that's married? There is no use. She's gonna cause tension. She's gonna cause contention. It's gonna be arguing and bitterness in the house, right? And then it says, and an handmaid that is heir to her mistress. Think about a handmaid that takes over and gets above her mistress. How's she gonna be? It's just like Hagar. When she had the baby before Sarah. And how did she act? She acted like she was better than her. Like, look, I got the baby. What you gonna do? And so they mocked her, right? Yeah. So the Most High is saying that these three things that basically these are three things that he don't like, that are not good in the earth. Right. So Jessica, I hope you got that. And then what was the next one? Proverbs 31:16.
Proverbs chapter 31, verse 16.
Hell yeah, this is literal. Read.
She considereth a field.
She does what?
Considereth a field.
Y'all gonna make me go into Proverbs, man. Why y'all doing that? Start at. I mean, this whole thing is literal. Proverbs 31:10 down is literal. It says she does what?
Considereth a field.
Go ahead.
And buyeth it.
Right.
With the fruit of her hands. She planted a vineyard.
A vineyard, right. So it is literal. I mean, especially at that time, you know, we had to plant and grow our own stuff. We were cultivators. Now, is a woman going to go out and buy a field and sit there and plant things? Probably not. Not all day. You got work to do. So what it's saying is that she's investing. She's innovative. You're looking at how can I benefit, because this is talking about a woman trying to, a virtuous woman doing what? Building her household, right? Building her family. So it's talking about this woman is looking at things to invest in and to build a profit off of. So it could be anything. Your field could be a business. Let me look into this business real quick. Let me plant and sow in that so I can reap something later on down the line. It's just showing that she was innovative, man. That she didn't just sit on her butt at home watching novellas, eating bonbons like Peggy Bundy. The church, you know, because what's the stigma? Or what's the cliche that the man goes out and work and the woman stays at home and raises the children, right? Con. You stayed home, you did raise the children, but that's not all you did. There was woman's work. The women went out. It tells you. It says she, watch, go to, read verse 14.
Verse 14. She is like the merchant ship.
What does a merchant ship do? Don't it bring merchandise?
Import and export.
It imports and it exports, right? Go ahead.
She bringeth her food from afar.
Read.
She riseth also.
Wait, so she brings home the bacon.
Come on.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Not saying that a man don't do his part. Because it tells you a woman that, what does it say? A woman that, man, I can't think of the scripture. She's full of impudence. A woman that maintaineth her husband is full of impudence. So if your husband is just sitting around not doing anything at all and you got to maintain him, it says that woman is full of impudence. She's going to be mad. Man, you raggedy nigga, you just going to sit here and play video games all day when I go work? Right? Baby boy. You just a baby boy. Right? We ain't got no baby boys in here. We got brothers that go out and work. They provide for their families, but the ribs got to work too. This ain't the green leaves. Where your husband, you just sit around and do nothing and just give Louis bags and Chanel purses. The women, it tells you here that she went out. Watch, read on.
She riseth also while it is yet night.
She does. Wait, no. She sleeps all the way until morning.
Also while it is yet night.
Yeah, so she's waking up early, crack of dawn. Go ahead.
And giving meat to her household.
Yeah, you see that? She's bringing meat for her household, man. She's waking up, preparing things. Go ahead.
Come.
I love this.
And a portion to her maidens.
Right. So she ain't stingy. She's hospitable. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 6. Salah. Verse 16.
Right.
She considereth a field.
Come on.
And buyeth it.
Right. So she considers, how can I invest and make the right moves for my household? If I put this here, what is it going to reap here? Because that's what a field is, right?
God.
You reap what you sow.
God.
So she considers the field. She ain't just like, yeah, I'm going to just do that. She's not hasty and rash. Says she considers.
Right.
So she's considering, but she's also going back to her husband and saying, hey, babe, I seen this, and I think that maybe we should, oh, no, not right now? Okay, yeah, you're right, because we got this tied up over here and this tied up over here. So she's making moves,
right,
but there's counsel involved here.
Right.
Go ahead.
With the fruit of her hands, she planted a vineyard.
Go ahead.
She girded her loins with strength.
She does what?
Girded her loins with strength.
Read.
And strengthened her arms.
Come on.
She perceived that her merchandise is good.
Yeah, what is her strength though? It's the wisdom. It's the understanding of knowing what she's supposed to do. That's a woman's real strength. Anything else, you weak as hell. If you don't know your role and position, I hate saying know your role because it sounds
know your role and
it sounds sexist, but we all gotta know our roles. I know my role when it comes to the Most High in Christ, but a woman gotta know her role. The kids gotta know their role. It says she strengthened, she girded her loins with strength. So she ain't coming with that weak, she ain't coming with that weakness, man. That he said, she said crap. That social media BS. She's girding her loins with the wisdom. Right? It says, and strengtheneth her arms. Go ahead, read verse 18.
She perceived that her merchandise is good.
Go ahead.
Her candle goeth out. Candle goeth not out by night.
Yeah, she ain't like, oh yeah, it's 9 p.m. I'm clocked out. Wife duty's over. She ain't no punch clock wife. Her duty is round the clock. Listen, I was talking to my mom the other day, man. I had a 2-hour I don't talk to my mom that much and for that long. I had a 2-hour, almost 3-hour convo with my mom, and we was going through family history. And she was talking about her mom and my grandpa. And apparently, he had I didn't know this, but he had a couple of extra kids tucked off somewhere. And I was like, but how come? I thought I knew everything about the family. And I'm like, but damn, I'm thinking about my grandma, and I'm like, damn, she was so quiet. Little old lady, man. Little old, just, she would smile. All I remember is when we woke up, food. House clean. Went to bed, before bed, food. Lunch, food. Like, that's all I remember was this woman cooking and doing damn laundry. Yeah. That's all I remember from this. I mean, this is back in the 90s. This is in Jamaica, 94. They used to cook, wash with the blue soap and all that. But that's all I remember was her just quiet, food, and more food. And the house was just organized. And she would, sit me on her lap, and we would talk, and I'd hug her up, and, just grandma, grandson things.
Right.
But I never, ever seen her beef with my grandpa, ever. I never, ever witnessed an argument, ever. And this nigga was dipping. Bro, he had like 4 or 5 other kids. Con. And I'm like, wait. And so I asked my mom, I said, but she didn't trip out? She was like, nah. You know what she said? She said, my mom was a real woman. I said, damn. Yeah, my mom said that. My mom's a prideful ass con. She said my mom was a real woman. She knew her place. She said she knew that none of that wasn't her business. I was like, damn. it put a lot of things in perspective for me. And it shows you through generation and generation. Even my other grandma on my dad's side, same thing. Yo, my grandpa had like 9, bro, he got a kid my age. The nigga is 101 years old. My grandma, but the thing is, my grandma used to beef though. But she wouldn't beef at him. She would gossip to everyone else about him. But that dude had kids. He had kids tucked. I'm talking about kids, man. I got an uncle that's my age, or maybe 2 years younger than me. I mean, and a couple of aunts that I never met. But this guy was dancing around. But grandma stayed with him. She stayed with him. Wake up, paper, right? Daily Gleaner. And his cup of tea every morning. Food when he needed it. Come home, whatever. They didn't argue, they didn't beef. She just did her duty, right? Her duty, and was like, listen, man, you gonna handle whatever you gotta go handle out there. Them your kids, that's your bills, right? I gotta handle this. Because she had 9 kids with him that she had to handle. So she couldn't worry about his other 9. She had to handle those 9. She complained a little bit, but bro, she did her job. Right? Read on.
Verse 19. She laid her hands to the spindle.
Go ahead.
And her hands hold the distaff.
Right, so she was like sisters do, making garments. The spindle. Right? She was getting that wool, stringing it out, so she could make them garments. Go ahead.
She stretched out her hand to the poor.
Here it goes again. For some reason, this woman is like just real giving. No, she's a stingy bitch.
She stretched out her hand to the poor.
But why we gotta do that? They can get their own.
She stretched out her hand to the poor.
Go ahead.
Yea, she reached forth her hands to the needy.
Right, she was a giver. Why? Because she was strengthened through the law. Read on.
She is not afraid of the snow for her household.
Wait, but it's too cold out. I can't go nowhere.
She is not afraid of the snow for her household.
But it's too hot in Houston. I can't. Nah, we ain't going nowhere. It's too hot.
She is not afraid of the snow for her household.
Listen, there was no weather stopping this woman, man. Talking about it's too hot, it's too cold. Like, you here, it's too cold. You there, it's too hot. Like, what you want? What you want?
Man, I seen this documentary, man, on these ladies. They live in Alaska.
I seen that. Oh, we seen the same one.
Where they go to
They
get
go
food.
they go get the fish under the.
Yeah, and it's unlawful fish at that. It's like clams.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, man, what woman in America is gonna do that?
Bro, first of all, they gotta go get these fish, and they got like 4 hours to collect, or else they'll drown under the ice.
Yeah.
They go when the tide recedes.
So the ice is still there.
So
but
the
there's
ice
no
is still
water.
there. They gotta chip a hole into the ice, go down into the ice a couple of feet.
Yeah.
It ain't no Rudy Poo job. They gotta go under these ice caves. And the space is small enough that only women can go. So they go, these little small, little petite, little Alaskan chicks or whatever. Then they gotta crawl, belly crawl, cold ice with their bucket, collect, what is it, clams?
It's like clams,
or
yeah.
mussels?
Yeah, it's mussels.
That's how their village eats.
Yeah.
They've been doing that for centuries.
A lot of them died.
A lot of them died doing it.
Keep doing it, yeah.
But they keep doing it. When that tide hits, the tide don't wait. It's just like,
It comes quick, yeah.
next thing you know, the whole cave is filled up. They showed it. It filled up in seconds. So they gotta be in and out. But they're not sitting there like, oh no, we're gonna die. We can't eat. We can't get the food. Let's do something else. They're like, look, we gotta do what we gotta do. Ain't no sister in here putting their life in danger for food to feed your household. And you acting like when your husband tells you to wear a hair wrap or put on a dress or turn off the music that you're gonna lose your damn mind. You're gonna die on the spot. It don't make sense, man. Like, you gotta see, a lot of y'all gotta do more traveling and watching more documentaries of other people's culture. And you'll see, like, damn, mine is easy because the Most High gives me everything I need. My life is easy.
Yeah.
I ain't gotta climb through rock caves that I can drown in or get stuck in or freeze to death just to get unlawful fish. And the thing is, they're collecting these little old clams. So they gotta get hundreds of them just to feed the people. One little last clam ain't doing nothing for nobody. Not no grown Eskimo. Right. So they gotta collect buckets. Send the bucket up. Send the bucket up. Bro, and they go in, and you know what's crazy? They go in mother and daughter teams. Yep. They go in, right?
Mother, daughter, grandmother.
Mother, daughter, grandmother teams.
Yeah.
So so grandma's handing down. Nope, leave that. Nope, let's do it. Oh, the time, let's go. You see that? Yeah. So it says, read it one more time, verse 21.
She is not afraid of the snow for her household.
Go ahead.
Right.
For all her household are clothed with scarlet.
Yeah, man, she takes care of the household. She ain't afraid to go out and bear the elements, man.
Right.
It ain't too cold. It ain't never too hot. It's what needs to get done. If I got to sweat to do it, I'm going to just be sweating. If I got to freeze to do it, I'm going to make sure I dress warm. But they know it's shown about this woman. They no excuse. So, I mean, I can keep going. I can keep going. Go ahead, read on.
Come on.
Uh-huh.
Verse 22.
I know you want that.
She maketh herself coverings of tapestry.
Go ahead. Tapestry. Go ahead.
Tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple.
Because she likes the best. She wants the best for her family. Go ahead.
Her husband is known in the gate.
Wait. Her husband's just an angry dude, weak knees, feeble hands because she's Garbo.
Her husband is known in the gate.
Go ahead.
When he sitteth among the elders of the land.
Read.
She maketh fine linen.
Yeah, you see, her husband is known. But he's not known for being stressed out and disgruntled or known for having a damn wife that's trying to bang everybody. He ain't known for that. He said he's well known in the gates. He's respected. Damn, this man got his household in order. Man, look at his rib. And it's not like, look at his rib, her ass is out. It's like, oh, man, she's taking care of this man's house. Man, you looking healthy, bro. You eating? Yeah. Damn, bro, you gaining weight?
Yeah.
You looking good, man. Gear on point. I like that garment, man. Who made that? Oh, the missus? Damn, bro. You looking happy, man. You looking like you got that pillar of rest at home. It ain't like, damn, what's wrong? Oh, she cheated on you again? Damn, brother. Damn, you looking real thin, Ock. Why you losing weight, bro? Ain't your rib cooking? Nah, she's too busy, Ock. Busy doing what? Well, when she comes home from work, all she does is go to bed.
I just been eating cereal, like.
Yeah, like what you been eating?
Just cereal.
Sardines. Like you got a rib that cooks. Yeah, but she's neglecting her duty. He's not known for a wife that's neglectful. She's that pillar of rest. So when you see this man, you're like, damn, this nigga he look happy, son. Damn. Right? Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 24. She maketh fine linen.
Do I gotta go over to Ecclesiastes 25? Do I gotta jump over? Man. She does what?
She maketh fine linen.
She does what?
Maketh fine linen.
Go ahead.
And sell it. And deliver it girdles unto the merchant.
Right, go to Ecclesiastes 26 and verse 13. Just on that, her husband is known in the gates, and when he sitteth among the elders of the land. Ecclesiastes 26:13.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, verse 13.
Come on.
The grace of a wife delighted her husband.
Yeah, her grace, man, the way she walks, talks, dresses, carries herself. It's delightful for him. Because when she's walking around like a niggard, that's what the Bible calls it, right? Like a niggard, like a brute beast with a dress on. It's like, who the hell is she? Damn, why she gotta talk like that? I've been trying to tell her. Like, damn. And I'm talking about, this is like after years of you like, okay, we ain't talking like that, babe. We ain't moving like that, babe. Put on the right clothes, babe. This is after years. I'm not talking about a brand new woman in the truth that's just learning. I'm talking about, this is your rib, and y'all been together, and you still correcting speech and how to talk and how to dress. No, you shouldn't wear that dress, babe, because it's see-through. Remember I told you last week that it's see-through. Right? It says her grace does what?
Delighted her husband.
He's delighted. He's delighted. Go ahead.
And her discretion will fatten his bones.
Her discretion. What is discretion? It's timing. It's proper judgment.
Right.
Oh, we're going to get into it. But her discretion is going to fatten his bones. So when he sits among the elders, like, damn, bro. Look like you getting taken care of, man.
Just can't lose it, bro.
Like, bro, you eating, right? Bones is getting fat. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 14.
Right?
A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Most High.
Go ahead.
And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Right, because what is she instructed in? Jump back to Proverbs 31:26.
Proverbs chapter 31, verse 26.
Read.
She openeth her mouth with wisdom.
With what?
Wisdom.
See, she's opening her mouth. It's not that she's silent, mute, deaf, dumb, blind, and stupid. But then when she does, first of all, she knows her place. She knows her place with her husband. She understands the order. But then when she does open her mouth, what comes out of her mouth?
And in her tongue is the law of kindness.
Wait, the weekend lyrics, I feel it coming?
The law of kindness.
Definitely is the new Jagged Edge CD that's about to come out. That's what she's talking about, right?
The law of kindness.
Wait, so she ain't talking about Maury?
The law of kindness.
Jada Pickett?
The law of kindness.
She's talking about the law. Go ahead.
She looketh well to the ways of her household.
Wait, what is she doing?
Looketh well to the ways of her household.
That means she's not in everybody else's business. How can you look to the ways of your house if you in somebody else's house? So she's focused on what's going on at her casa. What does my husband need? How can I be there for him? What is it? What it don't matter. Food, clothing, sex. What is it that he needs? What? Because the world will tell you don't let your man leave hungry or horny. That's what they say in the world, right?
Right.
Because why? There's gonna be somebody to fulfill them needs. So she's looking well to her household. She's making sure her kids is taken care of. She's making sure her husband is taken care of. And in turn, you know what's going to happen? She'll be taken care of. It's this ebb and flow. It's this cycle. It's this cycle of you take care of this takes care of this takes care of this. Because if the the saying should really be happy husband, happy life. That's what the saying really should be. Because if your husband's happy, guess what? He'll want to talk to you. He'll want to counsel you. He'll want to sit there next to you. But if your husband ain't happy and you coming in nagging, he don't want to be around that. He's like, man, I want to talk to you. I'm trying to deal with that. But he's constrained to do so because why? That's his duty.
Right.
But he ain't going to be delighted. And them bones is going to be looking like skeleton bones. He going to be dried up next to you like, man, what you want? What you want? What you want this time? What you want to tell me I did this time? What? Oh, I didn't cook that right? I didn't do that? What you want, woman? You gonna just sit here and nag me? I see men die off of that. Read.
And eat it not the bread of idleness.
Wait, no. Hold on. Because idleness teaches much evil. So she ain't eating the bread of idleness. She ain't just sitting around doing nothing. I'm looking to the ways of my household. I'm seeing how can I be a benefit? How can I add to my husband? How can I train my children up in the way that they should go? How can I make sure that I stay in the right mind? Listen, y'all women got a lot to do. Y'all got a lot to do, man. So if you bored, you in the wrong job. You in the wrong profession if you bored, because there's no way you can be bored if you got a husband, children, and yourself to maintain. There's no way. You might be a little tired, but there's no way you should be bored. No. But you're bored because easily distracted by this. And it ain't what your husband's talking about on it. You're looking at everybody else's life and what you don't got or what you want. Snapchat, you looking at everybody on the beach. Oh, they're on the beach. Oh my God, they're on a cruise. Oh, I want to be on a cruise. Oh, wait a minute, they're all having a birthday party. Oh, they all went to the wedding. They all went to the family gathering. They all did. I want to go. Babe, can we go to... And then when he says no because we busy, you catch a little funky attitude. Because he says no a lot of times. Right? Because he says no a lot of times because he's busy. He ain't got time for the beach.
He's known at the gates.
Because he's sitting amongst elders trying to do work. He ain't got time for the beach. Not saying that he can never ever do anything with you. He can. He can. But there's more important things to do. All things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. Read on.
Verse 28. Her Her children arise up.
Right?
And call her blessed.
They hate her.
Call her blessed.
They don't want nothing to do with her.
Call her blessed.
They feel like if she's there or not, they're good.
Call her blessed.
Her children get up and praise her, man. Because why? The care and dedication she took to show them. Go ahead.
Her husband also. And he praised her.
And you know what's crazy about it when it says her children wake up and call her blessed? The scriptures say, call no man blessed before time, right? Why? It says until you see his children. Mm-hmm. But if the children are saying that you blessed, hey, you got some good children on your hands. And you must really be blessed. But it says, call no man blessed before his time until you see his children. Because you're going to know, them children wicked as hell. Have they been taught right with the right upbringing? But this is letting you know here.
Right.
She raised them children right. So they can look and say, Mom, you blessed. You the best. We love you. Right?
Right.
Where you at?
Verse 29.
Go ahead.
Many daughters have done virtuously.
Right?
But thou excellent them all.
But thou excellest them all. Many daughters have done virtuously. But this right here, this blueprint of a woman says that you'll excel all women. You'll excel them all if you stick to this standard. Sure. And this is just one of them. I mean, we didn't hit Titus. We didn't hit, there's many standards that line up with this for a woman. Right? Read on. Verse, might as well just finish it.
Favor is deceitful.
Go ahead.
And beauty is vain.
Right, so it's a warning that if you rely on your beauty, if you rely on the carnal, it's vanity. It ain't going to last. These are the things you should rely on. And this is also a warning to a man. And if you're looking at a woman for the beauty and not for these things, then guess what? That ain't gonna be no wife. She ain't no gift from the Most High. That's a gift you picked out yourself. She gotta be able to come with at least some of these. At least some, and then the rest will be instilled through time. But if you're looking at her because of her booty and cup size and she's just beautiful, guess what? Her beauty can't raise your children. Women, his six-pack can't raise your sons. His rims ain't going to raise the kid. His bank account ain't going to raise the kids. Read on.
But a woman that feareth the Most High,
come on,
she shall be praised.
Right. This is how you get the praise, man. You fear the Most High. You fear your husband. You do these things. Read verse 31.
Give her of the fruit of her hand.
Because everyone is going to get the fruits of their labor. So if you spare sowingly, you're going to reap sowingly. You spare bountifully, you're going to reap bountifully. You sow to the flesh, you're going to reap the flesh. You sow to the spirit, you're going to reap spiritual things. Go ahead.
And let her own works praise her in the gates.
And that's what's going to happen. Her works are going to speak for itself. Her doings, the things she does for her household, the things she does for other people. Her level of hospitality, her level of sisterhood, brother, level of being a good wife. That's all going to show this through her works. All right?
Hot. Blazing up there.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Turned up a little bit. That little turn. Now cold. It's tricky. My bad. Right. Hey, so y'all, Jessica, she got that. Definitely literal. Yes, ma'am. Anything else?
There was one other question online.
Well, they're just not gonna let me go over my class, huh? They're just not gonna let me. When a woman do, where is it at? Please answer this.
It's Raheem Hardy.
Yeah, what is it?
It says, so Shalom family, is the name of the fallen Adamite Lucifer, which is the title given to Babylon. Also, what is the breakdown of Matthew 27 and 46?
Is the name of the Adamite? No. Man, that's going to be a whole nother class. There is no fallen Adamite. There is no. That's going to be a whole nother class. So hold on to that question about. Remember, no angels fell. There's no fallen angels. There's nothing like that. And we got a couple of angels classes that you could throw in there, but he said Matthew's.
That's what Christ is on.
Right? So, what is the breakdown? Let's see here. Huh? Where we at?
Matthew 27, verse 46.
Right. 27. Hold off on that. We'll come back to it. Hold off on those two questions. I'll get back to you on those two. Stomping in them Tim boots. What are y'all talking about? I'm looking at the comments. The world teaches their daughters to be whores and how to twerk. Con. Oh yeah. If you ain't twerking, you ain't working. Read something about Indian people who seem to be living in a play thing they call the Untouchables. Yeah, hold off. Blake Griffin is Haitian. Yeah, hold off on those two questions, Rakeem. We'll get back to you on the. You can send those videos about the angels though. We did the angelic secrets. There's the angelic secrets, and I think like there's 6 things about the angels that you never knew. Those might be able to shed some light. All right, let's get into this class, man. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, who was beguiled by Eve that was the spiritual counterpart of Satan. That was the spiritual counterpart of Satan. You got a physical counterpart and you got a spiritual counterpart. His physical counterpart is Esau, but that spiritual counterpart is who deceived Eve. But like I said, I'm not gonna get all the way into that one. That's a whole nother hour or two. What does a woman mean for a woman to be chaste? Let's look at the definition of chaste. It means reserved. It means like a chaste virgin. She's pure. Let's look up the word chaste. I believe it goes into her conduct, her speech.
Definition of chaste.
Right.
Pure from all unlawful commerce.
Sexual commerce. Yeah.
Of sexes.
Right. So she's pure from all sexual commerce. What else?
Free from obscenity.
Right. See the way she talks, the way she acts. Free from obscenities. Go ahead.
Uncorrupt.
Go ahead.
Free from barbarous words and phrases.
Woo! Damn. Barbarous words and phrases. Right? Like what's some of them barbarous phrases that these chicks come with? Like, nigga, what you gonna do for me? I need my rent paid. I need this. What's up, Jermaine?
Man, I know.
Barbarous phrases.
One of my Jewish homies had a black Orthodox Jewish.
Right.
He was like, man, my wife called me a pussy. He damn near choked her. I was like,
yeah, that's barbarous. Yeah, that's a barbarous phrase. You ain't, man. Wow. Yeah. See, that's terrible. But that's how these American women, man. That's how this American mentality got these women just talking out their mouth, out the side right here. Because you ain't talking from this. You ain't even talking from this. You coming from here. Right? So yeah, chaste. I mean, think about it. Like the word, remember chastity belt? Remember they used to put that on their daughters back in the day? The chastity belt, it stopped them from having sex.
Right.
It blocked all that. Kept them pure. So that's where that came from, the word chaste. So a chaste woman, she knows how to walk, talk, she got discretion. She's discreet. Chaste, keepers at home. Like it says in Titus. Right? You wrote that question down for me?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get into this class, man. Go to, you can title this class, The Spirit You can title this class as Everything Spiritual. Exclamation point.
Everything is not spiritual, everything is spiritual.
Not the angel, the one who was beguiled by Eve. Are you talking about Adam? Yeah. The scriptures say that. Go to Corinthians real quick. Just real quick on what he's saying. Check this out. The man wasn't deceived by Eve. Right? What we want? 1 Corinthians. What we want? We want 1 Corinthians, right? No. This is the woman being the transgression. It's Corinthians. Corinthians 7. Or is it Timothy's? Oh, okay, go there. First Timothy 2 and verse 13. Read that.
1 Timothy
2 and 13.
1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 13.
Right.
For Adam was first formed.
Right.
Then Eve.
Right.
And Adam was not deceived.
Yeah, Adam was not deceived. Go ahead.
But the woman, being deceived, was in the transgression.
Yeah, the woman was deceived by Satan. And then, yeah, she brought the knowledge back to Eve. Or she brought the knowledge back to Adam, the knowledge of wickedness. But, if you're talking about Adam, remember, Adam was a people. That wasn't just one man. That was a nation of people. Tells you that in Genesis 5, it tells you that in Genesis 4.
Got it.
He said, man and woman made he them and called them Adam. He said he blessed them and they called them Adam. So Adam was a people. You know what you gotta go through? Put in there the Genesis 3 breakdown. I was just watching that the other day. It'll clear up this question. Put in there, look for Genesis 3 breakdown. It'll go through that Genesis 3 and it'll break down that whole serpent, Eve, who got beguiled. So put that in there for him. All right, let's get into this class. Now this class, what did we say the title of this class was? Everything is not spiritual, right? Because you have some brothers and sisters that don't think that everything is spiritual. They think that things happen by chance. They think that it's coincidental or it's luck, or that the spirit just don't apply in certain situations. Now, why would that be? Why would anyone think that the spirit, first of all, what is the spirit? When we say the spirit, what are we talking about? Isaiah 11, right?
Spirit of counsel.
Right, so hold where you at on that. Hold where you at on that one, but you gotta ask yourself, why is it that people don't see things spiritual? They don't see the spirituality in things. It's like you can talk to a brother and you can say, well, hey, I noticed that, your eyes wander and you stare a little bit. And he's like, yeah, that's just how my eyes are. That's just how my eyes are, and it's like, God, you gotta control your eyes. That's a spirit that's on you, right? Because you ain't just staring at anything, you staring at specific things, right? You might see a few women walk by and you kind of just, you stare and not even know it. And it's like, well, that's a spirit on you that you gotta check. And it's like, no, I don't see that that's a spirit. That's just how my eyes are. Right? That's just how my eyes are. Right? That's how I've always stared. Right? But what is that staring? After a while, what does that staring start to turn into? It starts to turn into the spirit of lust. So you have spiritual markers or things that happen, and really, what does it take for you to be able to recognize spiritual things?
Discernment, wisdom.
So what do you have to be?
Spiritual.
You got to be what?
Spiritual.
Right. So go to 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 1. You got to be spiritual to be able to recognize spiritual markers and spiritual check marks, and to be able to say, oh yeah, I see the spirit behind what, because there's always a behind the scene. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 1. So there's always something going on behind the scenes of what we're dealing with. Right now it's a spirit. Right? There's a lot of spirits floating through this room. Right? So a spiritual man will pick up on the spiritual things. Oh man, this like what I do, y'all like me right now, I'm looking at all y'all spirit, and I'm like, okay, yeah, she's tired, yeah, he's hungry, yeah, he's bored, yeah, she ain't into it, yeah, she's paying attention, yeah, I'm doing that. But I'm just all I'm looking at is the way y'all sit, your facial expression, and how you react to things. And I'm like, okay, these are the different spirits that are in the room. I do that every class, or even when I'm talking to people, you have to do it. Because you got to see what spirit are they coming in, what spirit are they dealing with, what spirit do you have to exalt, and what spirit do you got to combat. Because every interaction got a spiritual tie attached, but not everybody sees it like that. Some people are like, oh yeah, I don't get that. But why? This is why. Read.
1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 1. And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual,
right?
But as unto carnal.
But as unto carnal. Now, is it that Paul just wanted to say, yeah, you niggas is carnal, that's it? Well, no, there was a reason why. Read on.
Even as to babies in Yahushua.
Even as unto babes. Because a baby is what? A baby is about two things. Feed me and change me. Right? And then I want to be birthed and slept. And held. A baby is about its senses, about what it wants to feel at the moment. So a baby's not looking into the future, looking at spiritual things like, okay, y'all spoiling me. Right? Like your sons. They just want to be held, right? He ain't looking like, damn, I'm being spoiled right now. I'm being spoiled for the next time I want to be held. So when you tell him no, he's not thinking like, daddy's doing the right thing. He's like, nigga, hold me. Right? Give me the cookie, feed me, I want to drool. I want to do baby things. The sad part is, though, Paul was talking to grown-ass men and women. He was talking to grown men and women right here. Read it again.
God, and I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual.
He said, I can't even talk to you about the spiritual things because you're not there yet. Now, who am I to say who should be where? I'm nobody. One man plant, one man water, the Most High gives the increase. But I can tell you where you at. I can't tell you where you're supposed to be, but we can tell you where you at. The same thing Paul was doing. He said, I can't speak to you on the spiritual level because you're not there. How did he know? He was able to assess and say, oh yeah, no, he ain't there yet. No, she ain't there yet. She's still on baby mode. She's still on milk. She's still not getting that it's a time to mature. Go ahead.
But as unto carnal.
Right.
Even as unto babies in Yahushua.
Even unto babes in Christ. Go to Romans 8 and verse 5. Now, our whole motive, our whole job is to spiritually assess things. Now, we know what the scriptures say. But really, what is it that stops one from spiritually assessing?
Yourself.
Say it one more time.
Yourself.
Yeah, yourself. But what about oneself?
Laziness.
Okay. What else? It could be, yeah, that's a little extreme though, but
People choose evil.
you're right. You're right. You're right. But some people do things just out of sheer, remember, you say you're babes. So think about a baby now in this aspect of, you tell a baby, don't touch that. Don't touch the stove. Or don't stick things in the electric socket. And what do? They might do it anyway because they don't understand consequence. They don't understand that if you stick a fork in the light socket, it's gonna shock you. So they do things out of rebelliousness.
Curious.
What?
They're curious.
Out of curiosity, right? Now remember, he's talking to grown people here. Paul was talking to grown people that were doing things out of curiosity, out of rebelliousness, now, and wickedness, out of sheer, like, I'm not going to look for the spirit. Like, I want all carnal feeling. I want everything to feel good, taste good, smell good. That's it. I'm not going to look for the spirituality behind why I need to be betrothed to a woman. Because for some men, it's carnal. Even the betrothal stage of dealing with a woman, right? It's like, oh yeah, 6 months and then I'm going to hit it. Huh? Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that no matter what happens, in 6 months you're going to hit it? No matter what? Like, she could be the demon of all demons. But you're so carnal with no spiritual assessment that in your mind is, as long as I'm following the school rule. Think about that. Think about it. Because we have a school rule. Y'all know the school rule. Can't deal with a woman for 6 months. Right? And then we tell brothers, if you meet a woman, even if you meet her out in the street, you need to give it at least 6 months before you lay with this woman. Now a carnal man is like, 6 months? Well, I met her yesterday, so my 6 months starts 6 months from yesterday. Right? And he's counting down on the calendar. Yeah, I got 2 more weeks, dog. But the whole time, she's in the background a demon. The whole time, she ain't wife material at all. She's not trying to be a wife. She ain't trying to read the Bible. She's not trying to be Proverbs 31 woman that we just read about. She's like, nigga, cook. My mama didn't cook. My granny and them didn't cook. So, nigga, you tripping. So you garments. What are you talking about? What is this so thing that you speak of? They start to sound like Africans, right? What is this? What is this so thing like that? You speak a whole other language, girl? The hell? But in his mind, he's like, well, I'm following the rule. But how is he doing it? Carnally, because there is a spiritual part behind it where you're supposed to be looking at this woman that you're betrothed to and saying, wait a minute. The day I met her until 6 months, I got to see some growth. I got to see some faith, some belief, some doing of the word. 6 months is not a long time, mind you. 6 months is not a long time to commit to anything, relationship-wise, with a man, woman. But the world is like, man, I met you last night in the club, girl. You was dope. I was high. You were drunk. Let's make a family. But then what happens? What happens? Now you got baby daddies, baby mamas. Yeah, niggas running around. They got a bunch of families, right? They got them club families, right? Them one night families that they make. Because why? Spiritually, they're like, I don't see the point in betrothal. I don't see the point. And you know what? I'm gonna do the whole betrothal stage. But 6 months on the dot, bruh. You waiting 12 on 1, 6 months in. Bam, well, 6 months, huh? Like, damn, you couldn't even wait like 6 months in a day. But you said 6 months, bro. But she's a demon. She's still eating pork. She's still trying to invite you to Christmas dinners. She's still operating as if you just met her yesterday and then give her no Bible. But then even a carnal man, if he's operating on that level, he ain't giving no Bible out. Not no real Bible, not no real scriptures. not no real understanding, not no real teaching. His conversation is dry, it's shallow, it's a carnal conversation. You sitting there talking about how you gonna hit it 6 months from now, but it's like she don't need that. You need to be showing her who she is and why it's important for you to be dealing with her and what you're trying to bring her out of and what you're trying to bring her into. Right? So just one instance on, yeah, I don't need the spirit for that, or I don't see the spirit behind that. But there's spirit behind everything. But see, Paul had to show him, like, I can't even speak to you about the spiritual things that you're dealing with and that you're going to endeavor into because you're still a babe in understanding. You're still operating off your carnalities. Go to Romans.
Romans chapter 8, verse 5.
Go ahead.
For they that are after the flesh.
So, you know, I like the scripture. You got to see how it's written. He said they that are what?
After the flesh.
He said they are after the flesh. Going after the flesh. Seeking the flesh out. Go ahead.
Do mind the things of the flesh.
That's what you're going to care about. You're going to care about the fleshly things. If you after this woman's flesh, you're going 6 months, you're going to be in there. If you're only looking at the carnality behind things of, you know, like the business that we have, is it not a carnal business? You run around the mall, you talk to people. But there is so many spiritual things behind running around a cart and talking to people. If you're carnal, guess what? You're going to miss it. If your mind is on, well, I'm just running around talking to people, you're going to miss every spiritual teaching and I'm going to start using this new one. Teaching moments. Y'all got to start using that. This is a teaching moment, brother. This is a teaching moment. That way brothers don't be like, why you counseling me? Why you teaching moment? Right? It sounds more professional. You miss these spiritual teaching moments where it's showing you about your sloth. It's showing you about your what is it when you get sidetracked? Real easy, like your focus or your distraction level, right? All these things are spirits that brothers come in with. Even attention span, that's the word. Your attention span, right? Even sisters, man. When your husband is hitting you with that hard correction, and you don't get a chance to find the spirituality behind it, because what you looking at? Why you yelling at me? Why you talking to me rough? But you missed the whole message. Because why? You're operating in babe mode. You operate as a baby. Like Dave, we've been together 15 years. You know how I talk. You know when the situation needs to get leveled up. But why are you still in babe mode? Well, because you're not minding the things of the spirit. Watch, read on.
For they that are after the flesh,
right,
do mind the things of the flesh.
Go ahead.
But they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit.
You see that? So the people that are minding the things of the spirit, or go after the spirit, you're going to find the spirituality in everything you go through. You're going to be able to sit back and assess and say, damn, what was the Most High trying to show me? How many of y'all do that? How many of y'all literally don't lie to me? Mm-hmm. Don't con me to death. Don't con man me. Right? I want you to answer within yourselves. I don't even want to hear the answer. But how many of y'all really sit back and be like, man, I'm going through this battle. What is it that the Most High is really trying to show me? And you literally assess your battle on a spiritual, non-emotional, non-niggardish, crybaby mode. How many of us, and you know why I'm going to say that a lot of y'all don't? Because when you're going through some real deep battle, some real hard stuff, a lot of y'all don't counsel. A lot of brothers and sisters don't counsel with the right person that's going to say, you know what? Look at this aspect. Look at this angle. Look at this. Look at that. Consider this. You know, me and Kazaki, man, we talk, everybody knows we talk a lot. We talk a lot. And we ain't on the phone just like, oh yeah, nigga, what's up? Yeah, how's Virginia? You went to the beach? Yeah, beach body. That's not what we doing. We're sitting back and we're like, okay, let's look at the estate of the flock. let's look at the estate of our men. Well, this brother's dealing with this. What's going on with his spirit? This sister's dealing with this. What's going on with her spirit? Wait a minute. They're all dealing with the same thing? Well, the scriptures say that spirits do what?
Jump.
First of all, it says they come in threes. I seen 3 unclean spirits leaping like frogs. So when we sit back and say, damn, well, he's dealing with a lust situation, and so are 2 other men. Well, that spirit is hopping around. So now, what is it going to take to combat that spirit? Yelling and screaming? We got to go into the spirit to combat the spirit. So our conversation is always, what's going on in the spirit of the camp? What's going on in the spirit of this brother? What's going on in your spirit, huh? You know, I'll put it out there, I've been dealing with an issue for the last couple of weeks, and, you know, we'll talk about it, and he's like, you got to look at it like this, huh? And you got to look at what the Most High is showing you. And that's where brothers and sisters fall a little bit short, because you don't have that second set of eyes that is going to be able to reel you in on a real spiritual level and say, no, I cut the emotions, get that crap out the way you feel, and look at what the Most High is really trying to show you. Look at the spirit behind everything that you're going through. That's why I say a lot of y'all don't do it, because you don't have anybody to say, hey, look at the spirit. Look at the spirit. You know why? Another reason why. We're going to wait to tell y'all why. Read it one more time. I ain't going to tell y'all yet, though.
Bro.
For
they that are after the flesh,
right,
do mind the things of the flesh.
Well, it's telling you why here, though. You can see who minds the things of the flesh and who don't.
Done.
You can see who minds the things of the spirit and who don't. And it's all about how you fight, how you battle, how you go through things, good or bad. Right? Go to Matthew 13:15. Matthew 13 and 15. And it really, this is what it boils down to, man. It boils down to, you're not seeing everything, you're not seeing the spirituality. I'm not saying that everything. I'm not saying that brothers are straight up just carnal, or sisters are straight up just carnal. But there's some things where you're like, there's no spirit in this. Where everything is a spirit. All the way down to bills. Bills and child support and alimony and paying rent. That all got a spirit behind it. It all got spiritual implications that come attached to it. Now, if you're not able to decipher and say, well, wait a minute. Now, because think about it. Let's just be real simple. Let's be real simple. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, man, you're absolutely right, because you can look at it just like, you can look at it from when you wake up in the morning. Do you wake up on time, or do you want to sleep in and catch an extra 10 minutes? If you're really tired, 10 minutes ain't nothing. You need like an extra 2 hours.
Yeah.
So what is it? It could be sloth. If you wake up and you don't want to brush your teeth, what is that?
That's nasty.
That's filthiness. That's slothfulness.
Slothful.
If you're not washing dishes and your house is filthy, you can see how there's a spirit tied into everything. If you just come home and you just throw your clothes on the ground and clothes is built up.
Check this out. So, and
yeah,
it's like this. Because you got brothers out there that they're on child support, right? Or they got some type of issue with baby mamas. I'm not exempt, right? Now, for that to come all the way to that point, what spirit was being dealt with? What was happening? Well, there was no communication, right? There was no proper communication. There was no dwell with them according to knowledge. So what happens? The spirit that comes along with that now is, well, yeah, now I got to take you to the law, right? Argue, you fought, you argued some more, you hated each other, you rendered evil for evil, railing for railing. You didn't give each other a chance to talk. So
you were still in the natural man.
You were, well, Con, you're still in that natural man.
God.
Now, think about it. how does the Spirit get bills paid? How? Like, does the Holy Ghost just pop out and then all of a sudden he hands you money? Right? Does the Bible just open up and all of a sudden you get money and your bills is paid? No, right? But what is it that you have? What is it that you can use and apply to get things paid? It's like it's just like this. I know y'all don't get it. It's just like this. We're a bunch of Israelite men, right? We have the school. We run this. We make this happen, right? Now we could all sit on our butts, sit on our hands, and do what? Complain about being broke, right? But do we not use the Spirit?
Come.
Do we not use the spirit of wisdom, knowledge, understanding, of communication, of just a lot of different good spirits to say, you know what, we're going to do our own thing. Spirit of motivation. We're going to run our own business. Right? That's how the Spirit pays bills. The spirit of unity. Charity, love, peace, joy. These things, that's how you get things done. But we could all be in the spirit of individuality and say, well, nigga, that's your bills. Bye. That's your bills. That's your bills. That's your bills. But we're all in this spirit where, you know, a brother might say, man, hey, something happened and I might be short. And we're like, okay, we got you, bro. We got you. He communicated. Spirit of communication. Charity. We gave it. Spirit of charity. He was able to pay them bills. It's simple. I know it sounds weird. But that's how it works. It's just like that. Like, how do you get child support paid with the Spirit? How do you get your rent paid with the Spirit? A lot of people don't realize that that's how they're doing it here. The Spirit is helping them out there. They just don't know it. They're not recognized. They think it's them that's doing it. Most High controls everything on every level, not just here. There too. So is that the Most High paying rent out there? But they think it's them. I woke up. I went to work. I did this. I did that. Most High gave you the ability. So the Spirit is in everything. Wow, we're going to get there. Go to Matthew 13:15.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 15.
Go ahead.
For this people's heart is waxed gross.
Right, because we stopped looking at the spirituality in things. So the heart has waxed gross, and what it says the heart is desperately wicked and evil above all things. So now your heart is telling you, your mind is telling you that it's you. You're the reason why things are happening. And that there's no spirit behind anything really. Go ahead.
And their ears are dull of hearing.
And their what?
Ears are dull of hearing.
Stop hearing. Go ahead.
And their eyes they have closed.
Right.
Lest at any time they should see with their eyes.
Read.
And hear with their ears.
Come on.
And should understand with their heart.
See, you see this understand with your mind? Very important. Read on.
And should be converted.
And should be what?
Converted.
And should be what?
Converted.
See, you never converted. Go there. Go to 1 Corinthians 2 and verse 14. The reason why you don't see the Spirit behind not just 50% of the things, but everything, 100% of everything, is because you're still rolling with that natural man. You haven't been converted to see. Wait a minute. Let me open my eyes. Let me open my ears. Not just some of the way, all of the way. 1 Corinthians 2:14.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High.
You see that? Because the natural man ain't going to get it. The natural man is not going to get it because the natural man is still stuck in me, I, we. The natural man is speaking French. He ain't speaking Hebrew. We, right? We got to go do this. I got to go do this. What are the things of the Spirit that he was supposed to be looking for? What are the things of the Spirit that the spiritual man was supposed to be looking for? Because the natural man don't get it. Right? Perfect example. Solomon. When Solomon was crowned king, what did he ask for? He asked for what? Wrong. Did it joking. I'm joking. He definitely asked for that. But really, what did he ask for? Pertaining to the class.
Spirit. Spirit of wisdom.
Right? The spirit of wisdom. But that's so broad. Why? Go there. Go to Kings. So it says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God.
Understand it.
He asked for that. We know he asked for that. But watch. You're going to get it after we read. Go to 1 Kings 3 and verse 9. It was something that Solomon asked for in a roundabout way that he didn't say he was asking for. That all of us should be asking for. You look puzzled. When I say it, you're going to be like, oh, I get it. Let's read it first. 1 Kings 3 and 9 down to verse 11.
1 Kings 3 and 9. Give therefore my servant
Right?
an understanding heart
So we know he asked for understanding. Right? Go ahead.
to judge the people,
And he asked for proper judgment. Go ahead.
that I may discern between good and
He
bad.
asked for discernment. Right? Go ahead.
For who is able to judge this thy so great a people?
So, what was he asking for? Well, it says that he asked for
proper
discernment.
judgment.
We know he asked for proper judgment. Watch, read on.
Verse 10. And the speech pleased the Most High,
Right?
that Solomon had asked this thing.
Right. Go ahead.
And the Most High said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for
Oh.
thyself long life.
What you got, Major?
To guide his people.
It says it. Go ahead. We know that. Read. It don't say it here. Go ahead, read.
Neither hast asked riches for thyself,
Right?
nor hast the life of thine enemies.
So he didn't ask for nothing carnal. Right? Everything he asked was what? It was spiritual. Solomon asked to be able to look at things on a spiritual level. That's what he asked for. When he asked for understanding, for judgment, in a roundabout way, he was asking the Most High, listen, I want you to show me spiritual things. I want you to be able to show me the spirit behind everything and judge in the spirit. Why did it please the Most High? Well, don't it say that the Most High is a spirit? And they that worship him must worship him in spirit
And it's true.
and in truth.
Come.
So Solomon asked to be able to judge spiritually. That's what he asked for. I want spiritual judgment. Because then he would have just been like, well, give me judgment. Right?
Right.
But then he said, give me understanding. But whose understanding was he using?
It's the Most High.
The Most High's. Whose judgment was he using?
The Most High.
The Most High is a spirit. God is a spirit. They that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So he asks the Most High to say, listen, I need to be on this level to be able to judge things through your spirit, through your wisdom. And that's all it is. That's all it is the Most High. It's the Most High spirit. It's the spirit of the Most High. It says the spirit of the Lord descended on Yahushua like a dove. What is that spirit? Now go to Isaiah. We just read it. We just read it. You can go to the one in Isaiah. You can go to the other one in Kings. Not Kings. What's the one I went to Monday? Is it the 70 elders? The spirit went on them? Exodus, right? But go to Isaiah real quick. We can just breeze right through it. We already read it earlier.
Isaiah chapter 11, verse 2.
Right?
And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him.
See, because this is what it is. It's the Spirit of the Lord. So, Solomon asked to be endowed with the Spirit of the Most High. Why? So he can look at everything on a spiritual plane and not be left in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the natural man is like, man, just give me a rib. Man, just give me a car. Man, just give me a house. Just give me some money, Lord. That's the natural man. He's not asking the Most High to be able to break down that rib and look at her spirit. He's just like, give me a rib. But what about being able to assess her on a spiritual level to make sure that she's going to be a good rib? Or assess, you go buy a car. Is it really the car you got to watch out for, or is the person that's selling you the damn car? You got to look at their spirit and be like, man, this dude's a little too anxious. This dude's a little too greedy. This dude's moving a funny type of way. You don't get the vibe from the car, you get the vibe from the person. So you got to be able to look, but then also you got to be spiritual enough to say, well, let me make sure I look at the car too. But it's all spiritual. Everything that we do is spiritual, but if you're in that natural man and not receiving the things of the spirit, which are what? Read on.
The spirit of wisdom.
Right.
And understanding.
Right.
The spirit of counsel.
Right.
And might.
Come on.
The spirit of knowledge. And of the fear of the Lord.
If you're not looking at everything through the window of understanding, of counsel, of might, of wisdom, of knowledge, of not just the hearing of your ears and the sight of your eyes, guess what? You're going to buy a lemon. And that's in the rib and a car. Woo! She's going to be a lemon. She only going to last 6 months. Mic drop. She only going to last the time that the school rules, 6 months. That's all she's going to be around for. Because you didn't spiritually sit back and say, Yahweh, give me the ability to look at this person spiritually. Take away from me the carnal, because that's going to come. Right? They tell you in the world, what does a pimp say to a woman? Or what does a pimp tell another pimp? Man, I'm going to just get her mind. The body is going to follow. Yep. Ain't that what pimps talk about? But see, brothers be acting like they pimps, right? And then they get to the truth and they just forget all about getting her mind. Get the mind and everything else is going to follow. Get her mind through the wisdom, though. Not like pimp her mind, but get her mind right with the Most High in Christ. And if you do that, bro, all the physical stuff, all the fun, the games, all that, that all comes. And as well as all the good spiritual obedience and meekness and kindness. But brothers be forgetting, man. They get in the truth and they like, I don't know about that mind thing. I'm going to play with her mind so I can get to that body. Nah, you got to work that mind, man. You got to work that mind out and see if that mind, like it says in Ecclesiastes, can that mind be instructed?
Well instructed.
Can that mind be well instructed? That's the only way you're going to know. How can you know if a person's mind is going to be well instructed? Well, you got to be in a spiritual mind to look at their spirits. What demon they got on them?
Right.
What good spirits do they come with? Y'all see this? So the natural man, he ain't thinking about these things. Right? Where you at? Go to Ezekiel 44 and 23. No. Finish up. Did you finish up Kings?
Just that last part.
Read that last part.
But as for thyself, understanding.
Where you at?
First Kings 3 and verse 11.
1 Kings 3, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
Last precept. But hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment.
To do what?
Discern judgment.
Right. Now, to discern, what does it mean to discern? Who knows?
Yeah, you just said it.
What?
Proper understand.
Discernment.
Discretion.
Yeah, discretion.
Well, no, discretion and discernment are two different words. Look it up.
Discern, it says to distinguish, to see the difference between two or more things.
Right. So now I can distinguish two or more things, but what are those two things? Go to Ezekiel 44 and 23. Because this is what it all comes back down to. Where the spiritual man is looking at these two things and the natural man is just like, whatever. It don't matter. I just don't see it. I don't need the spirit because the spirit don't work in every aspect. But this is discernment. Read that.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 44, verse 23. And they shall teach my people the difference.
The what?
The difference.
Or the discernment. Go ahead.
Between the holy and profane.
Because that's what it boils down to. The spirit is supposed to show you the difference between the holy and what is profane. Because if we knew, we wouldn't need the spirit. If we knew, we wouldn't need the Bible. Go ahead.
And cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
And think about it. The natural man is what?
Unclean.
The natural man is, listen, he'll take anything. He'll take unclean, clean. He'll mix the clean with the unclean. He'll mix the pork with the beef. Oh, no, what they call it? Surf and turf, right? The shrimp with the beef, right? The natural man is like 1 minute He's like, oh yeah, healthy. The next minute, oh yeah, pork. The next minute, oh, hookers. The next minute, I'm married. The next minute, this. The next minute, that. Because he's not looking at the difference between the two. The natural man just blends everything together. The natural man just takes everything and says, whatever comes my way today, I'm going to be with. He's not discerning between the two, so he's not able to see, well, wait a minute. When this person acts like this, that's pride. And when this person acts like this, that's humility. They're just like, well, that's just their personality. Right? But then they never get to understand why certain things happen the way they happen. The natural man is not about looking for an understanding. See, you see what Solomon was asking for? He was asking for understanding. But the only way he could get understanding on things is that he had to be able to discern things. The only way he could discern things is that he had to be on a spiritual mind with the Most High on what was good and what was bad, what was needed and what wasn't. Because the natural man thinks that everything's needed at every time. The natural man is greedy, he's lustful, he's hateful. He might be kind at sometimes, but a natural brute beast niggard, he's greedy, man, very covetous. Right? What you got?
No, it was just the definition of understanding, or to understand. It says, to have the use of the intellectual facilities, or faculties, to have the use of the intellectual faculties. And it makes me think about, the scripture in 1 Peter, it speaks about the babies having their senses exercised.
Hebrews 5 and 12.
Yeah, Hebrews 5 and 12. And it says, to be an intelligent and conscious being, to be informed by another, to learn. So yeah, that was the definition on that. I like the definition of it, just to show, you have proper understanding when you're able to not only see how something is done, but to be able to use it as well. To be able to use your senses and use, like the scripture says, to have the use of the intellectual faculties.
Yeah, because your intellectual faculties give you the ability, if you're using the Spirit, to be able to separate what is good and what is bad. Right? Finish that. Read that one more time.
Come. Ezekiel chapter 44, verse 23. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane. And cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean.
Right. Now, go back to Corinthians 2 and verse 14. Go back. So the things of the Most High are understanding, discernment, judgment. Right? What else? Being able to understand good and bad. Right? So read 1 Corinthians 2:14 one more time.
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High.
Right.
For they are foolishness unto him.
Yeah, see, the natural man is like, what's the point? I don't need to know this. The natural man is like, what's the point of being able to discern either or? Just give me it all. I'm going to deal with everything. And I don't have the time to sit back and look at the spirituality behind things. Like, nigga, he's just a mad guy. It don't matter what his spirit's like. Or she's just a happy person. I don't got to look and see what spirit they got on them. Or I don't have to find the spirituality behind these teaching moments. I love that, teaching moments. Read on.
Neither can he know them.
And he can't even know them. Why? Read.
Because they are spiritually discerned.
Now, it says they're spiritually discerned. Now, we just went through the word discernment, right? Now, I'm going to show you something about this definition. The definition of discern. Because even when you read this, it's like, wait, they're spiritually discerned. What does that mean? Well, discernment means to know, to separate good and bad, right? But when it says they're spiritually discerned, check this out. It says to judge or determine the excellence or defects of any person or thing. So when it says they're spiritually discerned, they're spiritually defective. There's a spiritual defect there. There's a spiritual defect where I'm not even gonna take the time to understand spiritual things because they don't matter. The spiritual defect is what? Well, I'm after the lust. I'm after the feeling, right?
Right.
So discern, to judge, estimate, or determine the excellence or defects of any person or thing. So read 1 Corinthians 2:14 one more time, or where you're at.
Same.
Yeah, read it one more time, and you'll be able to understand that spiritually discerned. Watch, read.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most
So
High.
the natural man don't get the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the discernment, the discretion, the judgment. Why? Read.
For they are foolishness unto him.
Because in his spirit, in his natural brute beast, think about it. It's like a dog. It's like a dog caring about the spirit of the animal he's about to rip apart, or a lion caring about the spirit of the animal he's about to rip apart. You think a lion cares about the spirit of the hippo? Or why the hippo is so jolly? Or what spirits are going on around him? The lion is like, nigga, I'm hungry. So he don't care about that because his mind is sidetracked on what? Those that are after the carnal, they go out. Those that are about the carnal, they're going to go after the carnal. That's where his mind is. His mind is, to him, spiritual talk is foolish. Spiritual discernment and assessment of things is foolish because I got one goal. In 6 months, I'm hitting that. That's my goal. In 6 months, that's going to be my rib, not rib. Because she ain't going to be your rib. I'm sorry. She ain't going to be your rib. She's just going to be another notch in the bedpost. Any brother that's thinking like that.
Right.
If you just got a timetable on when you're going to make a woman your wife, and it's a timetable according to days and not according to her spiritual growth and your spiritual growth together, that ain't your wife. So it says they're foolishness to him because it's foolish for a man, this type of man, to even search out the reasons why. Well, damn, why do you think that happened to your rib when you know she got into a car accident, or when she lost this, or when you lost that, or when this happened? Man, you looking at what the Most High is showing you? Nah, I don't even care. I don't know, bruh. Most High is just checking me. I'm Joe. Really? That's your reason? You didn't really try to dig deep and sit back and say, damn, what is it that I'm doing? What am I doing right or wrong? Because it don't even go for the man that's doing bad. What about the brother that's the ones that are doing good? And they're spiritually discerned. And the Most High is blessing them. They can't repeat the blessing. Why? Because they're not able to sit back and say, damn, well, I did this good. I did this good. I did this good. And the Most High blessed me. See, it goes two ways. Well, it don't matter how I got it. The Most High just gave it. Well, you're supposed to be ready to teach others.
Sure.
You're supposed to be able to ready to hand down the things that were handed to you to others for them to prosper. Those that heareth thee will prosper. Don't it say that in Timothy's?
That's right.
You'll save the ones that hear you. But if you can't repeat what you did, then how good are you? So the foolishness can go both ways. That I don't care, it don't matter. I'm not going to look because I'm just moving. Go ahead.
Neither can he know them.
Why? This is why. Go ahead.
Because they are spiritually discerned.
Because there's spiritual defects in you. There's a spiritual defect that's in you that you haven't. Remember, it said it in Matthew's. You know why that spiritual defect is in you? Go back to Matthew's 13 and verse 15. The spiritual defect is in you because of Matthew's 13 and 15. Read it.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 15.
Read.
For this people's heart is waxed gross,
Because your heart started to wax gross. Why else?
and their ears are dull of hearing.
And you close your ears because too much correction. Too much, hey brother, do it like this. Hey sis, hey wife, no, do it like this. So you start to close your ears. Go ahead.
And their eyes they have closed.
Read.
Least at any time they should see
And
with
you
their
stop
eyes.
wanting to see, man. You stop wanting to face judgment, correction. So what happens is when you come in as that brute beast man, and you had some of the bad defects, they started to get chipped off you through what? Through application of the wisdom, through correction, through being told, through teaching moments, right? Through teaching moments. The defects started to peel off you. But then you say, you know what, that's enough of that. No, I'm good. No. I'm going to slowly get the Dumbo ears, where they just slowly close and flap down. Nope, can't hear you. And my eyes are slowly going to close because I'm not trying to see that. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. But you got to see it. It's right here. No, I ain't trying to see that. Nope. I'm not willing to see. I'm not willing to hear. So guess what happens? That old man is not completely off of you. That's the defect. Now, yeah, I know. We'll never be completely rid of the old man. We'll never be completely rid of the old man. But as soon as you close your ears and your eyes, you might as well write yourself off, man. See, the old man works like this. Today, I'm prideful. Get that ripped out of me to a certain extent. Then next week, I might be a little bit faithless. I get that worked on. Pride is still down. The faith is getting up, right? But then, 2 weeks later, I'm lustful. It's like, wait a minute. You had pride, you had lack of faith, but you lustful, right? We work on that. And then guess what pops up? Pride. Pride pops up a little bit. He tries to. But then you beat him. And you get better at beating pride. And you get quicker. As soon as that pride even tries to butt his little head, you like, chop him down. As soon as that lust tries to pop up, boom, you got so good at beating him and continuing to beat him that now it's still there because we all gonna have pride, we all gonna have lust, we all gonna have hate, we're gonna have these things in us until Christ comes, bloop, right? Because Zaki talked about it last night.
Come on.
We're gonna be imperfect and have imperfections and fall until Christ comes. But the point is this: are my ears open? Are my eyes open? Am I ready to hear? Am I ready to see what somebody's showing me? But as soon as I do Matthew's, read it again from the top.
For this people's heart is wax gross.
As soon as my heart starts to harden because of correction, count yourself out. That old man is about to win. Because now the pride has a more better chance, it has a stronger percent to pop up and take over. Because you told yourself, nah, I don't want to hear that. That's not in my heart no more. It's not in my heart to be told about my pride. What else?
And their ears are dull of hearing.
Yeah. See, now I know you telling me that pride, but no. I'm gonna just drown you out because my ears are closed. I'm gonna make sure it get built up with wax so I can't hear it. See, because why? It goes back to Paul saying you're a babe. Man, it's crazy. You ever see a person just go from a grown adult to a baby? All in 2 moves? Yeah, this is how. But I go to the scripture. Nah, brother, I'm not reading that. But brother, the scripture said, I don't give a damn about the scripture. The way I feel is this. Right? You close your ears, you shut your eyes, but your heart, the mind that's supposed to understand, why am I being corrected? Why am I being shown this? How come the brothers is coming at me? How come my husband? How come the sisters? That heart starts to get stony, like the scriptures say. That stony heart. Right? And then that's what makes you defective. What do you do with a defective product? You send that back to the company. Like, nigga, I need a new one. Right? Let me get some defective Nikes. 1-800-Nike. I need some new ones. These are defective. Right? What did Paul say you do with a defective spirit? He said you deliver him to Satan to destroy the flesh so that the spirit could be saved. Well, see, the defects are in the flesh. The defects are in the flesh because that's what you're going after. The defects aren't in the spirit. The defects are in your flesh. You let the flesh take over. So he said you deliver one up to Satan for the destruction of the flesh to save that soul. That's where all them hits be coming from, man. That's where Satan, let me touch him real quick. Bam! Touch that shoulder. Ugh. Damn, that was Satan. That was a heavy blow. Ugh, let me touch that back. Oh, damn, Satan is touching me. Touch him. That's where Satan, that's where the Most High says, yeah, man, get him. Because the defects in you, you no longer are willing to let those be worked out. The natural man takes over, and what does the natural man do? He runs wild. He runs crazy. He lets all his feelings take over, all her feelings, right?
Right.
So jump back. Y'all with me? Jump back. Jump back to go to Titus 1:15. I mean, these are basic scriptures that we hit all the time. Very basic. Titus 1 verse 15.
God.
So the whole point in that, no, finish Matthews for me. And then hold that Titus. Finish Matthews, because this was the point. Matthews 13, right? This was the point.
Come on.
The old man, like they said, yeah, that sin is always lurking. That old man is always ready to, he's always ready to try to prounce out. Da-da! I ain't never left, homie. That old man is always ready to get back on the block and kick it with the old homies. That old man is always ready to puff a blunt, right? To drink excessively, to hit whatever he sees, right? That old woman is just so ready to run after a nigga that got a nice bank account. Oh, and rims, and can take her out to dinner. Red Lobster, surf and turf. Read.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 15.
Read.
For this people's heart is wax broke,
Go ahead.
and their ears are dull of hearing,
Come on.
and their eyes they have closed.
Right. So your eyes are closed. Read on.
Lest at any time they should see with their eyes,
Right.
and hear with their ears,
Because when your ears are open and your eyes are open, what happens? Read.
and should understand with their heart,
So you'll start to understand with your heart, and what will happen?
and should be
It
converted.
shall be what?
Converted.
But the conversion process, the converting process of putting off the old man and putting on the new, it stops when you shut down that heart. When you shut down that mind, it stops. Remember, Paul said it. He said, I die daily. He said, so he's killing his old man every single day. There was a purging. But that converting of the spirit from the old man to the new man, it stops when you shut down your ears and your eyes, and then you no longer get understanding. So that stops. And what's really going on? Go to Titus 1:15.
Titus 1:15.
Right? Go ahead.
Unto the pure, all things are pure.
You stop looking at the purity in everything. The purity is the spirit. Y'all know that, right? To the pure, all things are pure. Meaning, I'm not looking at the negatives. I'm not looking at the emotions. I'm looking at what is the Most High trying to show me. What is the purity of wisdom that the Most High is trying to give me in my battle or even in my blessing? Y'all gotta look at y'all's blessings too and say, damn, Barakatah Yahweh. But let me step back and look at what I did. Let me assess the good that I did so that I can do what?
More of that.
Repeat it. I can repeat it and teach it. Let me assess the good that I do. A lot of us don't do that. It's like, oh yeah, I did that, moving on. Yeah, but how are you going to teach that if you don't at least step back and say, wow, let me keep rehearsing? It's not a one-time rehearsal.
Well, how you gonna do that?
That's the point. Let me do it so I can let me do it and assess what I did so I can keep rehearsing it. Rehearse the righteous acts. To the pure, all things are pure. So a pure man, a man in a pure mind state, right? That hasn't been spiritually discerned or defective. He's looking at the purity of the spirit, the purity of wisdom, the purity in what the Most High is trying to show them, him or her. To the pure, all things are pure. So it's showing you here there's a lesson in everything. Go ahead.
But unto them that are defiled.
Them that are what?
Defiled.
Or defective. Read.
And unbelieving.
Come on.
Is nothing pure.
See, because there's an unbelief there. There's an unbelief that now you couldn't get wiped away. There's a lack of faith. Because why? You stopped being converted. You stopped letting that old man fight. Or excuse me. You stopped letting the new man fight the old man. And you let the old man take over. It says what?
But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving,
right,
is nothing pure.
It's nothing pure. You're not going to see the spirituality behind anything. Because are your emotions pure? Are they? When you wig out on your husband, when he says, hey, babe, make me a sandwich, you like, nigga, why I gotta make you a sandwich? Get your own. You know, I just sat down. Why you telling me? Where's the purity in that? There's no purity in that. Your emotions. Whatever. Hey, brother, I need you to go run over to the store, grab me a little pomegranate juice. Nigga, you just came from the store. Why I ain't your rib. Why I gotta do that? I asked you to be a brother. Right? It ain't gotta be no big lesson in that. Like, I'm just asking you as a brother. I got a hurt leg. I did a little bit too much on the weight machine today. Whatever. But there is a spiritual lesson behind that. Humility, brotherhood, love, charity. Lay down your life. It's just a walk across the street. See, there's always spirit, but to the pure, all things are pure. To a nigga that's defective, to a sister that got a defect in her, it's like, why? There's always a why. There's no purity in why. There's no purity in rebuttals. There's no purity in back talk. There's no purity in, nigga, you ain't Christ. Right? Where you at? What you want? Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, you gonna come after this? Yeah. Okay. Right? Go ahead. Read on.
But even their mind and conscience.
You see that? Even their mind and the conscience in them to do good or evil is what?
Defiled.
So there is no, let me look for the good. Let me discern between good and evil. It's all evil. It's all, why I gotta do that? It's all rebuttals. It's all emotions. It's all hate. It's no love. Because why? There's a little bit of defect but then that defect does this. A little leaveneth the whole lump. That's what the Bible says. Right? You let that leaven grow, man. Remember, the old man will never be eradicated until Christ comes. But that don't mean you stop fighting. That don't mean that you stop hearing and stop seeing and stop converting. We convert every day. Every day you're converting something. You're converting pride to humility. You're converting hate to love. You're converting lust to spiritual. Every day it should be, let me convert something carnal to something to the spirit. And then guess what? It's going to be never enough. Because once you thought you got rid of pride, guess what? The pride is going to be tested in you. The pride is always going to be tested. Once you think, oh, I ain't got no pride. I'm good on that. Yeah. Okay, well, guess what? That was a prideful statement. You just saying that was a prideful statement. That's how it gets tested. Everything is always going to be tested all the time. It's a cycle. Remember, it said Satan came, he tried Yahushua 3 times, and then he left for what? Season. He left for a season. My bad. You good? He left for a season. He left for 3 months and then came back. A season is 3 months, right? If you want to look at it like that, he left for a time. To do what? To come back and try him again. Right? Where we going to go?
It's in 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 19. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 19. Because we all got faith. But you know, the scripture is going to show you one thing that you have to have with your faith. Because if you don't have it, you're screwed. You can see a lot of our brothers and sisters that have stumbling blocks, that have certain issues in their minds. This is why they have those issues. Go ahead, read.
1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 19.
Go ahead.
Holding faith and a good conscience.
So you got to have faith, but you got to have a good conscience in everything as well. To the pure, all things are pure. everything got to be pure, and you got to have a good conscience no matter what's going on. Like you were saying, whether it's a blessing or whether it's a cursing, it don't matter. Go ahead.
Which some having put away
With
concerning...
some having what?
Put away...
See, some of us, we put away the conscience. We put away having that good conscience and having a pure heart and a pure outlook on certain things.
On everything. Not just certain. On everything.
Done.
Because does the Most High control certain things? Does the Most High control certain things? He controls everything. So God is a spirit. They that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So everything that the Most High puts out there is spiritual for what? Or let me say it one more. Let me say it differently. Everything the Most High puts out, he puts it out. Wow, kill that. Kill that. Right under your foot. Just step down. You did it.
No, underfoot.
You got it. You got it.
He did.
It was a huge spider. You got him. That was perfect timing.
Got you killing spiders, you don't even know.
Hey, that's the spirit. That's the spirit, brother. But the Most High puts everything out carnally, right? Because what are we in?
Carnal world.
We're in the flesh.
Right,
But
right.
there's spirit always attached to everything that he does. It's for us to search it out. Watch, we're going to get there. Hurry up, hit that.
Go ahead.
Finish
Read
that.
precept again.
Damn, I only got 15 minutes. Ooh.
Holding faith
Oh.
and a good conscience, which some having put away concerning faith.
So a lot of us, we put away that pure outlook and that pure conscience just because we have faith. We don't look at what the Most High is working. We don't look at the things that he's doing. Go ahead.
Have made shipwreck.
And because of that, we make shipwreck. We fall, we stumble, we slip, we trip up. Because even though, yes, we have the faith, but our conscience ain't pure. So because our conscience ain't pure, we start to question things. We start to doubt things.
And what we doubt is that the Spirit is here to help. We doubt that there's spiritual ties to everything, that there's a spiritual lesson in everything. Wisdom of Solomon 8:1. Wisdom of Solomon 8:1. We start to doubt the Most High's reach. Like, yeah, his arms ain't long enough to deal with this. Yeah, I got myself here, I'm gonna get myself out. We start to doubt the actual spirit itself, which is wisdom, which is discernment, which is understanding, which is counsel. We doubt these things.
Right.
But check this out, Wisdom of Solomon 8:1.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Wisdom reaches from one end to another.
Wait, no. Wisdom just goes down the block and then back up the block.
Reaches from one end to another.
Listen, wisdom is far-reaching. It goes from one end to the other, but it don't stop. Go ahead.
Mightily.
Weak.
Mightily.
Wait, it's scared.
Mightily.
Go ahead.
And sweetly do it. She order all things right.
Some things.
All things are right.
Go ahead. Jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. If a man desire much experience,
Go ahead.
she knoweth things of old.
Wait, what does the Spirit know?
She knoweth things of old.
Go ahead.
And conjectureth.
And conjectureth.
Conjectureth aright what is to come.
She conjureth. That's the word. Conjureth. She does what?
Conjureth aright what is to come.
So the Spirit can tell you the things in the past, but it also tell you what's about to happen. Right? Go ahead.
She knoweth the subtleties of speech.
She knows what?
The subtleties of speech.
So wisdom can break down subtle speech. The Spirit can break down subtlety. Go ahead.
And can expound dark sentences.
Go ahead.
She foreseeth signs.
Wait, no, she don't know nothing.
She foreseeth
No,
signs.
she just blind with her ears closed.
She foreseeth signs.
Go ahead.
And wonders.
Come on.
And the events of seasons and times.
Wisdom of Solomon 9 and verse 11.
9 and verse 11.
Wisdom of Solomon 9 and 11. Go ahead.
For she knoweth and understandeth all things.
Some things.
All things.
Only what you think she knows.
All things.
Go ahead.
And she shall lead me soberly in my doing.
Now, stop right there. Stop right there. I want y'all to meditate on that. It says, she shall lead me soberly in all my doings. You know why this is important? Because, again, this right, just that 9 and 11 of Wisdom and Solomon shows you that if you apply the Spirit, it's going to keep you in a sober mind to get anything you want done in righteousness, of course, right? So if you're being sober-minded and you're being led in sobriety, sober in, what are you sober in?
Righteous.
Con. Get a little bit more detail. Let's bring it back to, I like this one. I like about paying bills. Like, my gas tank don't run on the Spirit. Brother used to say that.
Right.
My gas tank don't run on the Spirit. Mine does. Mine actually does. I remember the last time I asked brother for gas to take him anywhere or go anywhere. The amount of driving that I do, my gas tank literally runs on Spirit. Right? How many times a week I'm in that mall and or twice in a day and driving and here and there, go here, school, bro. But my gas tank literally runs on the Spirit. The Spirit of what? Spirit of brotherhood, charity. The spirit of selflessness, because I firmly believe and am sober in one thing, that if I do for the Most High, He'll do for me. This is the sobriety, that if I'm doing the right thing, the Most High gonna take care of whatever He need to take care of. He gonna make sure that gas is gonna magically, faithfully,
You're gonna find a gas card, something.
pop up, bruh. I don't even gotta do that.
Yeah.
I just slide my card. That's the mind of me. It ain't gotta be nothing magical. I just know that if I need it, it's there. If I need it, it's there, but it's not because I want it to be there. It's not because it has to be there. Read it again.
And she shall lead me soberly.
Because wisdom is leading me in sobriety. Wisdom, the Spirit, has cleared my mind from what? From not thinking I ain't gonna have gas, damn it. The Spirit is leading my mind in a pure state. To the pure, all things are pure. If I'm over here doing this for the camp, I'm gonna have gas. Most High is gonna make sure of it. It's one thing if I'm over here on this and that trying to pick up something, right? So that I can see if I run out of gas because I blew it on the hooker. So you ain't gonna have gas money, right? Think about it. I use the gas money to get some filth. But if I'm putting myself in a position of help and doing for the Most High, doing for brothers, doing for the camp, the Most High is gonna make sure that it's there, man. He's gonna lead my mind soberly, so that means what? I'm not gonna spend my money on stupidness. I'm not gonna have time to be out in the club kicking it, blowing money. I'm not gonna be over here with some random chicks blowing money.
All right.
My mind is gonna be sober to know, damn, I gotta drive around, save some gas. That's how it works. It's simple. It's simple. It's simple mathematics. Read on.
And preserve me in her power.
And do what?
Preserve me in her power.
See, and wisdom is going to preserve you, right? Because don't it say, yeah, got it. Wisdom shall preserve you. Get that. Discretion shall preserve you. Wisdom shall keep you. Give me that one real quick. It's in Proverbs. Read it one more time. I like that. Ugh.
God, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 9, verse 11.
Right.
For she knoweth and understandeth all things.
Right.
And she leadeth me soberly in my doings.
See, wisdom, the Spirit is going to lead you and keep you sober, man. You got it for me?
No, I have something else, though.
What you got?
Wisdom of Solomon, 7,
22?
25.
Right? We can go there. Go ahead. Go there. It's all good.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 25.
Go ahead.
For she is the breath of the power of the Most High.
I like it. Go ahead.
And a pure influence.
And she's what?
Pure influence.
Wait. She's a defiled influence.
And pure influence.
See, the Spirit is a pure influence, man. Purity comes from the Spirit. So now, I'm not defiled when I move around. I don't have defiled thoughts. I don't have to go and deal with defiled people or do defiled things. Everything I do is out of a pure mind, out of a pure heart. So what am I able to do? I'm able to discern good and evil. I'm able to discern. Do I go to the mall today? Or do I go hang out on this and that? Right? Do I go and hang out with, I ain't got no homies on the block. I'm not from here. But do I go to somewhere where I know it's not going to be beneficial for me? Or do I do the camp business? That's the discernment. That's the pure influence that the Spirit gives you. Go ahead.
From the glory of the Almighty.
Right. Now, jump to Hebrews real quick. 4 and verse 12. Did somebody else get that other one? Yeah. No. It says discretion. Oh, yeah. Discretion shall preserve thee. Understanding shall keep thee. You see how it goes back to discretion and understanding? That's Proverbs 2 and verse 11. Where he said that. It says, and preserve me in her power. The Spirit will preserve you in her power. Why? Because she gives you discretion and understanding. I understand why I don't need to be on this and that late at night or at any time during the day unless I'm coming to class. I understand why. And then even when I'm driving down this and that, I'm being discreet enough not to drive and drool because she got her backside out. The discretion is, nah, bro, keep forward. You don't need to look at that. I mean, they be out. Listen, come on, man. They be out there naked. Let's be real. But you got to have discretion and discernment to say, nah, I made a covenant with my eyes. I'm going to look forward. You know how many accidents happen on this and that because them chicks walk through in a thong? Oh, yeah, bro. They walk through in thongs. Oh, yeah, there be accidents, man. Because cats is like, or they walk through with nothing. They literally will hike up a shirt with nothing under it so cats start thirsting. But discretion says, nah, don't pay attention to that. Eyes forward, 10 to 2.
Bro.
Right?
It was this one time we stopped. Lamar was with us. We had stopped at the Chase Bank right there on Bissonnette to get some cash.
Bro.
And bro, they'll tell you it was like 5 cars. It was like the prostitutes came out of nowhere. There was a line of cars that came.
Listen, discretion tells me this. When I want a Whataburger or a Burger King, keep driving.
Oh.
I go to the Whataburger on Beach Nut.
Yeah, Beach Nut.
There's one right here on Bissonnette. Hell nah.
Nah.
The Chase Bank is where?
It's right there, just across the street from the
Oh,
Whataburger.
see?
But we had to jump off 59. It was right there.
Discretion is like, nah, bro, keep going. Why? Because think about it. Even 2 weeks ago, they shot that whole Burger King up. And that whole Whataburger. They sprayed it. Discretion is like, wait a minute, that's where hookers hang out at.
Right.
Keep it moving. Discretion, what does it say? Discretion shall preserve thee. Understanding shall keep thee. The Spirit is like, no, keep driving. Spirit will talk to you, man. Watch. Go to Hebrews. Go to Hebrews 4:12.
Hebrews chapter 4 verse 12.
Somebody else get Ecclesiastes 8 and 5. Go ahead.
For the word of the Most High is quick.
Ecclesiastes 8 and 5. I want y'all to see something here. It says what?
For the word of the Most High is quick.
Go ahead.
And powerful.
Right.
And sharper than a two-edged sword.
Read.
Piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit.
So the Most High's word is spirit, but it pierces the spirit. Go ahead.
And of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents.
So stop right there. What are thoughts and intents?
Strongholds.
What is a thought? What is a thought that pops in your head? What is a thought that when you see the big booty walk through the mall and you automatically like, damn, I want to hit it? What's that thought?
Lust.
That's a what?
Spirit.
What are the intents? They start out as thoughts, which start out as spirits, which is what you act out. It said that it's a what?
Of the thoughts and intents.
Go back up.
Of the
It says
of the
it
soul.
is a discerner. It's a discerner.
Slocky, what were you already again?
Hebrews 4 and 12.
Okay.
It says the word is a discerner, meaning it separates good from the bad. what's pure and what's defiled. It separates those thoughts, man, those spirits, right? Go to Ecclesiastes 8 and verse 5. Ecclesiastes 8 and 5.
Come. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 5. Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing.
So whoever is keeping the word and using that spirit, the spirit of the word, he's not going to what?
Feel no evil thing.
Go ahead.
In a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment.
You see that? A wise man's heart is going to discern between time and proper judgment. Right? So I went there to show that the spirit is always there helping us, man. But we got to believe that it is. Now, go to Romans 8:26. If you don't believe that the spirit is there to help, you know why the spirit don't help some brothers and some sisters? Because they're spiritually discerned. Because they're defiled and unbelieving. So you're not believing this right here, Romans 8:26. This is the key. Read.
Chapter 8, verse 26.
Right?
Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmity.
No, the Spirit just ignores everything.
Helpeth our infirmity.
It says it in the Bible that the Spirit is here to help our infirmities. Not to add to our infirmities. Not to ignore our infirmities. Read it again.
Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmity.
Go ahead.
For we know not what we should pray for as we ought.
Because we don't know the things that we need. Read on.
But the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us.
Wait, what does the Spirit do?
Maketh intercession.
When something makes an intercession, it steps in for you. Let me step in for you real quick. Let me interject. Let me cut in. It's like when you dancing and a dude comes and makes an intersection and steps in front and separates you from that dance partner. I'm making an intersection, man. Let me do something. Let me dance on your behalf because your feet ain't moving right. Right? You keep stepping on her toes. You keep stepping on the toes of your dance partner. Spirit's like, wait a minute, let me help you out here, buddy. Move on over. Because you ain't doing it right. So even though you're unbelieving, defiled, even though you got defect, because we always gonna have a defect in us, a breach in the Spirit is always like, hey, let me help this guy. Let me talk to him. Let me give him a dream. Right? Let me give him a vision. Let me hit him with that deja vu. Or let me just have a brother tell him. Let me just have somebody send out a random text. Right? And all of a sudden it's like, damn, that's what I was dealing with. Damn, how do you know? How do you know he did it? He knew how because read it one more time.
But the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered.
Bro, that's so cold. The Spirit is making an intercession to the Most High for you. But you got to believe in the Spirit. You have to believe that everything is a spiritual thing. Or else you're going to miss the benefit of the Spirit working. You're going to miss out. And then what do? Go to 1 Corinthians 2 and verse 10. I'm going to definitely get through this. It wasn't even a lot. Damn, it's 10:03. Oh, God. 1 Corinthians 2 and verse 10.
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10.
Go ahead.
But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit.
What does he reveal unto us? What does the Most High reveal unto us by his Spirit? Who knows? He reveals spiritual things. It's as simple as that. He'll reveal the spiritual attachments to everything that you're going through or dealing with through the Spirit, through the Word, through the wisdom. But you got to search. Watch, read on.
For the Spirit searcheth all things.
Wait, it says the what?
The Spirit searcheth all things.
So how come you don't? If the Spirit is searching, how come you ain't? How come we don't? How come we don't search all things according to the Spirit? The Spirit's already doing its job. Where you at? Read.
Yeah, the deep things of the Most High.
Go ahead.
For what man knoweth the things of a man?
Right.
Save the spirit of man which is in him.
It's right here. What man know the spirit of man save the spirit you a man. You got the spirit of man in you. Right? Now, think about if you roll in the spirit of the natural man. That's all you're going to know.
Right.
But read on.
Even so, the things of the Most High.
So even so, the things of God, come on.
Knoweth no man.
No man knows it. Except for what? Read.
But the Spirit of the Most High.
The only way you're going to know the things of the Most High is by the Spirit. But you got to search the Spirit. Go ahead.
Now we have received not the spirit of the world.
See, we didn't receive the spirit of the natural man. Oh, I want to squeeze this guy's arm off. Go ahead, read.
But the Spirit which is of the Most High.
Read it one more time.
Now we have received not the spirit of the world.
So you didn't receive the spirit of the world where I don't care to see things spiritual, or that doesn't matter, or I don't see the spirit in that. You didn't receive that spirit, man. You received the spirit of, let me search that out. What is the Most High trying to show me here? Wait a minute. Before I get mad and upset, let me listen. Wait a minute. Before I cast judgment, let me hear the whole matter. Wait a minute. Before I go here, let me think about where I'm going. Before I stick it in there, let me think about what's going to happen 8 months, 9 months later. Before I yell and scream here, let me think about what that's going to do for my reputation. Discernment, discretion, understanding, peace, love, joy. You got the spirit of the Most High, not the spirit of the world. That natural man? Nah, that wasn't what you was intended to have. You let that develop through just bad habit. Go ahead.
But the Spirit which is of the Most High.
Come on.
That we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High.
Read verse 13.
Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teaches.
Not that natural man, emotions and crying and drinking things away and smoking and music. Not that. Oh yeah, because some people do what? I'm going to use music to filter away the hurt, the pain. I'm going to use drugs and alcohol and music, sit there and cry like a baby all night. To R&B, the Jagged Edge and Weekend. Go ahead.
But which the Most High, the Holy Spirit teaches.
Read it from the top one more time.
Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teaches.
Because what does a man's wisdom teach you? To be natural, to be a brute beast, to not use wisdom, to not be discerned, or to not use discernment or discretion. Man's wisdom is do as thou wilt. So if you want to jump off a building, go ahead and do it. If you want to run headfirst into a wall, go ahead and do it. If you want to smoke it, drink it, stick it, flip it, lick it, punch it, go ahead and do it. Do what you do. Do what you feel is right, brother. That's what man's wisdom teaches you. Don't let no one hold you back. Don't let and you don't gotta search anything out. That's all just right there on the surface. You don't gotta look into things. Just let things flow. Right? Just be as the air. Be one with the elements. That's what man's wisdom teach you. Man's wisdom don't tell you to search things out and make sure that it is what it is. And to hold fast to that which is good. Man's wisdom is like everything's good. Go ahead.
But which the Holy Spirit teaches.
Right.
Comparing spiritual things.
Wait, doing what?
Comparing spiritual things.
Go ahead.
With spiritual.
Because that was what the point was. You were supposed to use the spirit that the Most High gave you and compare it with the other spirits around. Why? So you can discern between good and evil. Profane and not profane. So you can have discernment and judgment and understanding. Right?
Fine.
Go to Ecclesiastes 2:14. Somebody else get me? 1 John 4:1.
Ecclesiastes chapter 2, verse 15.
Go ahead.
They that fear the Lord.
Ecclesiastes 2:14. I'm sorry. Ecclesiastes 2 verse 14. So he said comparing spiritual things with spiritual things. The spiritual things of the scriptures, the spirit within you, and the spirit of the wisdom. Well, I said that. The spirit of the scriptures, Spirit of the word, the spirit that's in you, and the spirit that's around. You were supposed to compare all those things to see, am I operating as the natural man, or am I using the spirit of the word, and am I walking with that? There's three spirits here: yours, the Bible, and the world. Y'all get this, right?
God.
So you got to compare these things. Wait a minute, he's a little bit off. What spirit is he rolling in? Oh, he's hateful? Well, wait a minute, am I hateful? No, what does the Bible say? Well, not to hate. Okay, well, I'm lining up with this. He's not, so let me separate myself from the profane. Not let me, hey, hateful brother, how are thou today? Nigga, get away from me. Yeah, you're right. Let me hang out with you. But brothers do that. Because you don't compare spiritual with spiritual. You don't compare the demons on people to what the scriptures say to what you're dealing with. So what happens? You attract demons, man. You attract spirits that are trying to leech on to the battle you're already going with. Instead of saying, whoa, hold on, wait. Well, I'm already battling lust. I'm already fighting some form of lust. And then next thing you know, somebody else is bringing a different lust my way. The Bible says to fight temptation, to run from sin. So am I running, or am I walking towards the sin? That's how you compare spiritual with spirit, because no matter what, you're spiritual. You're spiritual. You're spiritual. You're spiritual. You're spiritual. Satan's a spirit. So what spirit are you rolling in? Is what I'm saying. If we all spiritual and Satan is a spirit, how do you know what spirit you got on you? Are you rolling in those negative spirits, or are you rolling in those positive spirits? But you got to compare spiritual things, right? Forget Ecclesiastes. Go to 1 John 4:1. 1 John 4:1 and then 1 Corinthians 2:15. We ended there. 1 John 4:1.
Got it. 1 John chapter 4, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Beloved, believe not every spirit.
He said what?
Believe not every spirit.
Go ahead.
But try the spirits, whether they are of the Most High.
He said to do what?
Try the spirits.
Judge comparing spiritual things with spiritual. He said try the spirits to see if they are of the Most High. Guess what? That's the spirit on you. Don't believe the demons on you. When it's like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. I don't see that. I don't want to see that. He said, try the spirits, man, to make sure that that spirit is of the Most High. So what am I comparing? Again, I'm comparing the Bible to how I feel. That's plain and simple. I'm taking the wisdom and I'm saying, wait a minute, is the way I feel biblical? Let me search that out. Well, I feel my ego, my pride, I feel this way. Well, the Bible says pride goes before destruction. Pride is hateful before man and God. Pride is this, pride is that. A haughty spirit before a fall. Damn, wait a minute. When I compare these spiritual things, that is not of God. Go to 1 Corinthians 2:15.
1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 15.
Right?
But he that is spiritual.
But he that is what?
Spiritual.
Go ahead.
Judges all things.
I'm going to end it right here. You know why you don't judge everything, but only some? Like, brothers is real good at judging the real. Her spirit. Brothers is like spiritual warlords. You're like a spiritual war god. Like Sun Tzu of the spirit when it's time to look into your ribs' eyes like, wait a minute, you off. I can tell by the way you breathing. Oh, man. I'm like, what the way she's breathing? She walked into the house and she took too long of a breath. And then she stepped 2 times wrong and she's off. And I'm like, wait a minute, but did you talk to her? I didn't have to, brother. Her breathing says it all. I'm a spiritual ninja at this. I can look at her countenance. So you can look all the way into her countenance and see if she's off or if she's lying. But what about your own countenance? What about the countenance of the brother next to you that really needs the help? What about that? But see, you're only good at judging some things because you're not really spiritual. You're halfway a spiritual ninja. You're like the spiritual, the She said the Ninja Turtles. They were kind of dope though. What year? Right? Well, you're like a spiritual novice, really, because you can only detect what you want to detect. You don't want to detect what's in you. You don't want to detect what's going on around you other than what benefits you. Because why else would a man be able to break his rib down, break down her spirits, and check her before she even opens her lips? Well, because you want her in the same frame of mind, or you want her in the right mind to be able to deal with you and what you want. Why does the Most High want us? Why does the Most High check us? Because he wants us in the right mind for us to be able to deal with him. It's the same reason, but we have to be more rounded and have a bigger circumference of spiritual insight. Not just your rib, because at the end of the day, is it just about her? No. Because if she's off, but if you're off, who's spiritual enough to say, wait a minute, let's get on? Nobody's gonna be, right? It's just gonna be two off people with a dust collector. Right? What they call the thing on a paperweight. Two off people with a paperweight and a lot of highlights. So the whole point is, read it one more time.
But he that is spiritual judges all things.
Right, because him that is carnal judges what he wants. And only some things, it only sees the spiritual aspect, and a little bit of things, it only sees that. Wait a minute, let me apply the Bible now. Let me apply the Bible with her, but then what about with you? What about when you had road rage and you was yelling at the nigga through the window? How come you didn't apply the Bible then? And then he pulled out the gun, and then he shot it at you, and then you pulled off and hit the car in front of you? I'm making that up. Nobody did that. But the spirit has to be in every instance. Every single instance, man, it tells you. The spirit reaches from one end to the other and order all things. So he that is spiritual judgeth all things through the spirit, comparing all spirits with all spirits, to make sure that what? They are of the Most High. That's why, think about it. That's why you surround yourself with who you surround yourself with. Me, I'm looking at a person and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't hang out with you. You ain't of God. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. I'm over here. I'm protecting myself, right? I don't, listen, you have to get good at knowing who am I going to put myself around, what spirits. Because people come with anger, spirit of hatred, spirit of jealousy, spirit of murmuring, spirit of backbiting, spirit of contention. That's in their soul. That is like it is them. So if you're not comparing, like, wait a minute, why you always arguing, bruh? Why you always argue with everything? Or why you always got that spirit of what's the one? It says suspicion. Ooh. You got that spirit of suspicion, like someone's always trying to hurt you, someone always trying to do something to you. It's always you, right? You got that evil suspicion on you. Me, I can't be around that because it's like, whoa, there's no talking to this person. No, he wasn't trying to poison you. The food was naturally hot like that because that's what you ordered. No, I didn't order that. No, but you did order hot. But no, he made it too spicy, but there's no level on the spice because it's all that hot. No, but brother, he tried to poison me because he's Elam and I'm an Israelite and he knows I'm an Israelite. And that's the atonement. They're trying to kill us. And when I ordered the food last week, it was just as hot, brother. It be simple, dumb little things like that. Y'all think it's funny. It be happening. It be happening. Well, y'all see the point. Read it one more time and let's end it.
Come, but he that is spiritual judges all things.
Go ahead.
Yet he himself is judge of no man.
And that's the point, man. He that is spiritual is going to judge everything around him. From the rooter to the tutor, from the baby to the head to the toe. Baby, everything. All spirits, man. So we got to see that. The point is that there is spirituality. There is a spirit attached to everything that we deal with. Every sin, remember, the Most High is a spirit. They that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So he's going to give you the carnal for you to search out the spirit. Everything that we deal with is carnal. All our blessings, they're carnal at the end of the day. Everything that we get is carnal, but there's a spirit attached. All right? Any questions? I know I took y'all over. Any questions? Dan, did we shut off? Oh, I was like, man, I was going in kind of. Tell you a lot. Conversation. Yep. Everybody online, we went over building a character. Come on. Still building a character. Okay, we went over. So if y'all got anything, just hold them until what's today? Hold it until Friday. I don't even know the days of the week, man. It's just hold it until Friday, and we'll be back. Oh. Gotta mention. I said it already, but Friday's class will not be online for Houston. Virginia will be broadcasting class live online. All right. So when you tune in, make sure you like. You subscribe to their channel. But they will be having class live. We'll be offline, but we will be having class. We'll be here at 6 to 9. Be on time. All right? All right. If there's nothing else, let's salute and let's say shalom. 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 We'll see y'all back here on Saturday. We'll broadcast on Saturday. Shalom.